Today's video is brought to you by Assiniboia Downs Gaming and Event Center. And be sure to tune in to Trust the Profits Live Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern for Monday.
We're good, Matt. We're good.
Yo, we're good? All right. We're good. We are live. I'm having some technical issues on my end.
That's okay.
And so I apologize for that, everybody. Salutations and welcome. We are live here on Monday, July 3rd at Assiniboia Downs. And welcome. My name is Matthew DeSantis. I'm joined by Colin Sheehan. And we are ready to roll tonight here. Tomorrow is, of course, Independence Day here in the United States. And appropriately enough, my old political science teaching self has an Independence Day themed tie. You can maybe see it there. We the people, right up at the top, right across the top. So we are in this holiday mood, and I hope everybody's having a safe and lovely 4th of July extended weekend. Colin, we were talking. It's been all sorts of discombobulated. Everybody doesn't know what day it is. If it's a Monday, if it's a Friday, we're not sure. But I'm here with you, and that's the best part of my week. And so we're here to get ready for Assiniboia Downs, and we got a lot of people already hopping off in the chat. So appreciate to see everybody there. Let us know where you're signing in from tonight. But Colin, how are you looking forward to tonight's Assiniboia Downs card?
Great. Don't forget Canada Day, Matt. Like, we're doing Assiniboia Downs. You can't forget Canada Day. I know tomorrow is Independence Day.
Yeah.
But for those of you up north of the border, which we expect a lot of you to be tuning in, the Red Sox played up in Toronto last night. We had to wait an extra half hour as they did their Canada Day celebration. I've been up in Canada before. I have a cottage up there for Canada Day. So
nice.
Excited about not only the 4th, but you're right. My kids have Wednesday off. They had to go to school today. Then they had Wednesday off. So I'm working the Red Sox game tomorrow. Then I'm off Wednesday with the kids. So this week is like, we talk in our Trust the Profits chat, and it's like every week since about Derby feels like has been something going on, right? Between holidays, obviously big races. But we're ready. We're ready to go. I once again walked into tonight's Assiniboia Downs card tepid. I feel like we rolled those first couple of weeks, and I was like, this looks, I can see it clearly. And then the last couple of weeks for me have just been a little bit of a struggle. Not that I did good those first couple of weeks in stable duel. We did pari-mutually, but my stables didn't do too well. So hopefully now that I'm feeling tepid, my stable duel game will turn around. There's plenty of options in the stable duel game for you all. So download the app and jump in. They have a free game tonight. A lot of people are always asking in the chat, hey, how do I get involved with stable duel? What's the promo code? Well, the promo code tonight is you download the app. You go in and you find the free Assiniboia Downs game, and that's the Trust the Profits promo code for you. As you enter the free game, you try to put together a stable with a bankroll of $50,000 that is dependent on the morning line. There's also a $15 game, which I jumped in. I think there's a $30 game and a $50 game. So all kinds of options tonight, and there's also a free game tomorrow night. I noticed, so it's a great opportunity to get kind of back to back. If you're new to stable duel, use these 2 free games to get a sense of it. Maybe use tonight to figure out how it works, and then maybe you fire again tomorrow night. But Matt, how about you? I know you were hesitant on entering that $50 game. How's your confidence at looking at tonight's card? And have you hit enter yet?
I have hit enter officially on the $50 game, and so we'll see how that ends up turning out. But I'd say confidence levels are pretty good. I'd say maybe like a 7.5 out of 10 on a 1 to 10 scale. And my confidence always increases when the man below us joins El Hombre. It feels like it has been forever, my friend, since I've seen you on the screen. So good to see you. How you doing, my brother?
I'm out here living the dream. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing well.
We're going to a long holiday week. I'm off for the rest of the week.
Nice.
Going to see Mickey the Mouse in a few days, man. Just,
fantastic.
Living the dream. But I do need some vacation money starting tonight. So let's make some money tonight. What do you say,
That's
boys?
the whole idea. That's the whole idea. So we got people excited to see El Hombre in the chat, which is always good. And I want to, it's interesting. You're going on to see the Mickey Mouse. Might need to hang out with our new addition to Trust the Profits, horse guy Mike, who's down there in Orlando.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to, try to get in some OTB time while you're down there with Mike. I don't know, but I don't know if the family would approve of that. But we are going to try to build your bankroll a little bit here tonight at Assiniboia. Definitely a lot of fun. Contest, as Colin pointed out, the free, the $15, the $30, and the $50. The free contest, anybody can enter. Obviously, it doesn't take anything to join. All you got to do is sign into the app, create a username, basically, and you're good to go. You don't have to deposit anything to play these games. 247 people currently in the free game, but just taking it up just a slight notch. If you want to go from that free to $15, you go from facing 247 people down to 46 other stables. So again, as the price of the contest goes up, the level of competition tends to go down, or at least the number of stables that you have to face tends to go down. So only 46 are entered in that Monday Night Lights contest. And remember, if you finish in the top 5 of that Stable Duel Monday Night Lights contest, you're automatically entered into the $1,000 winner-take-all Manitoba Derby contest that's taking place in next month, I should say, at the October or August 6th, I should say, on Stable Duel. So definitely even more reason to play that $15 game. Then there's the $30 triple up game in which the top 30% of stables will increase their entry by 3 times. So it's a $30 entry, so you win 90. And then there's the high rollers game, and that one's a lot of fun. We'll see if that one ends up making. I put one stable in for that. I felt a little particularly frisky tonight, so we'll see. Good to see everybody hanging out in the chat. Shotty says there's no Foghorn Pick 4 ticket tonight. She's at home. That's a little sad that we don't have the Foghorn Pick 4 ticket, which is always a lot of fun to follow. But great to see everybody else out there tuning in. Paul Nolan, I see hanging out overseas in Ireland. My guys there. We got Uncle Sully checking in. We got people, Penn State Scott from right down the road from where I am. So it's great to see everybody here in the chat. But listen, before we get into the card itself, let's talk a little bit about Stable Duel and kind of what are some Stable Duel plays that we are going to be using today in our different contests. Colin, I'll start with you. Was there 1 or 2 horses that you looked to? You said you entered a few different variations of stables, but was there 1 or 2 horses you looked at that may be a little less expensive for folks to consider using if they want to get into one of these contests?
Yeah, and I told you, we've talked in the past about what do you do when and I've asked you this question on both our how to play Stable Duel theory and then also just on these streams, is when you put in multiple stables, Matt, how do you do it? Do you put use the same horses and fire, or do you try to mix it up? And I always kind of had that strategy. If I'm going to do multiple, I use the same horses in the same stable, so I'm not cursing myself, because I know that 3 will win in one and 3 will win in the other. They'll be completely different. But tonight I used a little bit of your strategy, which is I have 2 different stables, one in the free game, one in the $15 game, and I wouldn't say they're quite different. I have a few that I've built around, but I'm going against a little bit of what I usually do. The first race here for me was kind of, the first 2 races was where you had to make that decision on what to do with some morning line heavy favorites. The 7-5 number 4, Daddy's Rare Edition, and a long leg off, right, without a lot of early speed. And when I saw that, I was immediately tepid into wanting to put this horse into my stable, because at Assiniboia Downs, we have talked many times on this show about horses that don't have early speed, that are coming off of a long layoff, and are you going to take a 7-5 price?
Yeah.
But the back class and the back speed figures are there. They kind of tower a little bit over this field. And you've also got some really good workouts on the paper, and you got a trainer that hits at 25%, 90 plus away. Yeah. So I really had a tough time, and this shows that was right away where one of my stables uses it and one of them does not. And in my $15 game, I did not. If you want to go to race 3, I found a nice little 8-1 horse that I liked, which was the 7 Dazzling Mischief. I always pay attention, and you have a lot of nice horses bred in this race. You have a horse by Malibu Moon, a horse by Golden Sense, and a horse by Into Mischief. And, one thing I think we've noticed, or I've noticed, and paying much more close attention to Assiniboia Downs this year, is these horses that are bred really well tend to run well as and so I decided to use this 7 at 8-1. It's got Antonia Whitehall on, so I hope Sean Patrick Nolan joins us before race 3. That is only when this jockey fires. The first 2 races this year have left a little to be desired, but if this horse gets back to what it was doing last year, I think that what it did last year can certainly put this horse right in there. And so 8-1 was a price where for a cheaper horse I was looking. How about you, Alombre? Did you have any longer price plays that you were paying attention to, or anybody you built your stables around?
No, but before I answer that, I'm curious on your strategy to play the same lineups in multiple entries. Do you mean within the same tournament, or do you mean across or a contest, or do you mean like if you're playing a free one and then a $5 one and a $10 one, you would enter each of those with the same lineup, or do you mean you'd enter the same contest twice with the same lineup? Which
I mean, like tonight, I have a free and a 15. Usually, I would just take the same stable and put it in all of them.
Okay.
Not within the same
you ever
game. It's
would
within
you
the same
multi-enter
game.
the same contest with the same lineup? Because I've seen people do that, which makes 0 sense to me.
I wouldn't, but I usually don't enter more than one in a contest.
I like to multi-enter. And this is an old tactic I've used in poker tournaments for 100 years and such. Is multi-enter the same tournament with a slightly different strategy, maybe even if it's just, like you said, what's your base foundation of? I mean, if you really, really fall in love with 2 or 3 plays in this thing, lock those in for both of your entries or all 3 of your entries, whatever you're doing, and then kind of
build around,
move around a little bit with the other ones. But so what I try to do, my strategy that I've found in stable that's been working well for me is to, in a card like tonight where there's 7 races, but you need 10 horses, I try to find a cheap option. First of all, I like to play at least 1 horse in every race if there's 7 races like this. To try to, I mean, that way, best case scenario, you could win all 7 races. I mean, potentially. It's hard to do that, but at least you give yourself the chance to do that. But when it comes to the second and third options within a race, I like to look for a cheaper option in a race where there's smaller fields, which in this case, I think it's the first 2 races are the smallest fields. And I liked the, let's see, in race 1, I liked the 3 horse at $1,000, 10-1 Dot and Dash. And race 2, I liked the Captive Kitten, the 1 horse, which I believe is a Whitehall horse at $500 price point, which you get Tony Whitehall at $500 in a short field. I mean, that's music to my ears, because I mean, he has been, although has he been a little bit less successful as he was those first couple weeks, I think, but I mean, he's still
but it's hard to keep that pace up.
It's been hard. It's interesting. Those are 2 horses I like a lot as well, and they were 2 that I kind of built my stables around because they were less expensive horses that I like quite a bit. So Dot and Dash, I thought if that horse is anywhere near what it did last time, it wins this race.
Exactly.
I mean, so it's one of those
at
things
$1,000.
where Exactly. If this horse takes another step forward, second back from the layoff, and I mean, that horse looked really good running 5 furlongs and looked like it had plenty to spare and was pulling away from people. And so, Daddy's Rare Edition, I agree with Colin about, really great works, a lot of back class for sure. There's a big class drop coming. This horse has been running in, $19,000 allowance races. Now is in a state bred $7,500 claimer. And Mike Taphorn's winning at a 42% clip this meet. But again, a horse that doesn't have a ton of speed coming off the bench, I was willing to try to play against. And so, I really like Dot and Dash here. And then in race 2, Captive Kitten, I really like this one a lot. I mean, he's won 2 of the last 3 times out. And those 2 victories were at 7.5 and 7 furlongs. And the race tonight's at 7 furlongs. So, I mean, this horse, his third back in the form cycle, seemed to actually take a really big step forward last time out, going those 2 turns, getting a little bit more experience, stepping up in class a little bit. That was at a claiming 4. Now we're going back up to a claiming 5,500, but still, Antonio Whitehall for that sort of price, really good.
Colin's had enough.
Colin's had enough. Colin, we've talked Colin. We've talked so much that Colin is.
He decided he needed to drop.
He needs to drop, and he needs to figure out a new strategy for his stable.
Swap his teams. Oh, there he is.
Exactly.
Quiet.
Yeah. All right. Now Colin's back. So, I think you're right. Those are 2 races in the beginning where it's a little there's two heavy favorites in both those first two races because you have Daddy's Rare Edition and Get Up Early that both would cost a fair amount of money. And then in race 2, you have Drop a Caribou, who's on a 3-race winning streak, we should point out, and Rail Splitter. And the reason I wanted to play against Rail Splitter in that second race is Rail Splitter is an amazing 0 for 10 on a dry fast track. And it is dry fast track conditions up there today at Assiniboia. And this horse just likes to win in the slop. So he was an automatic toss for me. And I was like, well, if I can get past the overwhelming favorite in that race, things open up a lot more suddenly. So that's where I was
lineups. I played 2 lineups in the $15 game, and I have them in one, which reluctantly, because I saw the same thing, I was like, man. But I also think he's capable of winning by 10 if he is. He's
that's
why I said one entry I'm going to fade, and the other entry I'm going.
Yeah,
at a big cost. I think it was like 9,800 or 9,600 or whatever it was. But yeah, I agree. I don't. It's probably a good fade especially if you're playing multiple lineups. I definitely wouldn't put him in both, which is I didn't.
Yeah,
I faded. I didn't use Rail Splitter in either of mine, but I did use Daddy's Rare Edition. So I feel more confident that Daddy's Rare Edition will get me there as opposed to that Rail Splitter.
Yeah. I'll give out one other long shot real quick, and it's not a huge long shot, but race 4, number 1, My Noah at 6-1 on the morning line for only $5,000. I like this horse a lot, and part of it is because we've seen a ton of success with horses coming in from Oaklawn Park at this meet. Those Oaklawn shippers have run extraordinarily well, and so it headed off by, I believe, Chicago's Gray, who's been just absolutely crushing competition since coming up from Oaklawn. So that Oaklawn form, I think, really holds. And you've seen a huge jump in speed figure from Oaklawn to Assiniboia, but that's been par for the course for all these Oaklawn shippers, that they've all come up from Oaklawn and they've stepped their speed figures up consistently over multiple races, 10 to 15 points. So I don't think that last race was an anomaly. And I like My Noah a little bit, going 5.5 furlongs there in race number 4. So that's another one that I was, certainly taking a look at tonight. But
hey, Matt, we just hit 50 people in the chat for the first time tonight, which is it's a good sign with 13 minutes to post.
Hell yeah.
You guys, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, make sure to press that like button and subscribe button if you haven't already here to get all of our content here on Trust the Profits. And it really helps to press that like button as well to spread the word on the video.
And Todd just dropped a comment, which is exactly what I was going to say. If you guys, either of you have a lock of the night that you just said, there's no way I'm playing a lineup and leaving this horse off in any race tonight. Was there one that you felt like you had to absolutely lock and load?
Yes. So for me, it was in the last race, actually, which is a maiden claimer. And you know how I feel about maiden claiming races. I love them. And so my lock of the night is number 2, Shotgun 1.
Yes.
9-2 to Mario Bino, who all he's been doing is he has been bringing home some prices. And so I love Demario Bino here. This is a horse that's 9-2 in the morning line. Jared Brown just got this horse. Get this. Jared Brown is winning 67% of races after a trainer change in maiden claimers. Hello. This is a lock. So I am absolutely using Shotgun 1 in all of my stables in race number 7 and closing out strong, I think there. Colin, what about you? Do you have a must use in yours?
Well, I did like the one My Noah that you had talked about as well, but in that same race, I'm interested in the 4, Mr. McLean.
Yeah.
In these 5.5 furlong races, it's the only race, 5 furlongs and 5.5 furlongs, where I really pay attention to final speed times of horses that have won. Mm-hmm. And we go back to, this horse is shipping in from Turf Paradise, which is a place we talked about that had been doing really well earlier in the year. Comes back, puts up an 81 Brisnet speed figure, finishes second, but was really forced 4 wide that whole race. This horse has the ability to go 5.5 furlongs in 103, and I don't see any other horses in this race that have really come close to that. They're all 105, 106, and so I'm hoping in a race that has a lot of early speed for sure that Mr. McLean can be the one that I'm leaning on. So he's in both of my stables, along with that one, my Noah, Mr. Noah.
Yeah,
My Noah.
My Noah. Yeah.
I have those 2 horses in both of my stables.
I like it. And by the way, we should say we already have people who are very excited for the Somonex moment in the 7th race, the sleepy time moment. Colin needs to redeem himself after last week's sleepy time pick came and actually won the race. And so we need to get back on the sleepy time pick bandwagon here. And Colin needs to give out a loser essentially in the nightcap and of a horse that is looking a little sleepy. Yeah, there you go.
In that same race, I was really interested in
Shoddy calling out for it. We couldn't ignore.
I love it.
Shotgun 1. That's Shoddy's apparent.
There we go.
That's the dead pet alarm. She called it on herself, so you gotta respect that.
Yeah.
You gotta respect that.
That's a little bit of a stretch for me.
Yeah, a little bit. There was a couple in the lounge last week where I had to call audible right on the edge, baby.
Yeah. Did you give it to him? I feel like you're a little judicious in your ringing of the alarm.
She said she couldn't stay all night, so I figured we'd let it fly.
Yeah, I got you. Back to that same race. Maiden Claimer is a race I love too, Matt. And I've talked to Sean Patrick Nolan about this. In races that I'm really not finding anyone that I'm crazy about, the number's my go-to angle. It's silly, I know, but it hits. It's the horse with the most experience that has shown a legitimate amount of early speed. And I found that angle in this race with the number 6, I'm a star, who's raced the most. And if you go back through the first 7 races, was always forwardly placed. I know some of those lengths behind leave a lot to be desired. The last race out was against Dot and Dash. Dot and Dash won that race, so I'm going to be paying close attention to Dot and Dash in the first race here to see if it's going to give me. You're getting Jorge Carreno aboard. I know he's been aboard the last 2. Yeah. You're also stretching this horse out a little bit, so that's where I'm kind of hoping for 8-1 I can get Emma's Star home.
I hear you. I think that last race is really interesting. I mean, as much as I like Shotgun 1, I also really like the number 5, Timber's Legacy, at a big price for Lisa Pruitt and Antonio Whitehall. Again, you're getting a Tony Whitehall horse at 15-1. And this is a horse that's taken the class drop going from state-bred maiden claimer, maiden special weights down to a state-bred maiden claimer. And that horse at least flashed a little bit of early speed last time out. Now, faded badly. But ran against some nice horses, actually, like Private Frank came back and won next time out, Kentucky Jake as well. So there's some nice horses that he's run against there with the class drop. I just think that makes a little bit of sense. And what's really fascinating is if you go and look, he actually finished ahead of the number 9 horse last time out, Royal Commando. And the number 9 horse is at 6-1 on the morning line, and Timber's Legacy is at 15-1 on the morning line. So I thought that was, a potential opportunity to take advantage of in stable duel, where maybe 2 comparable long shots or 2 long shots that were pretty close, and something one of them was a lot less expensive than the other. So that was definitely kind of my thought.
Yeah, I also took a shot on that first time starter. So in that last leg, I went with the 1 Terry's Molinos. The trainer hitting at 30% with first time starters, and you get Badriel, who we've talked about recently on prices, is the jockey you want. So I'm using those 2 angles in that last leg.
I like it.
But I'd like to add too. Remember the $50,000 guaranteed pick 4. I think these last 2 legs are pretty wide open enough that if you can get through, you're going to get a nice payout on the late pick 4.
I think you're right about that, and we'll put together a group ticket of some capacity for the late pick 4 here, and we'll be sharing that with you all. But listen, it's about time you got to get in the game, but we got 7 minutes to post here for race number 1. And we're going to pull up the video here, and just to let people know, if it's your first time tuning in, we're going to show you the stream and let you hear Kurt's call on all of these races. But this is one where, it's interesting to see how the morning line has kind of shaken out a little bit in race number 1 from what it was initially. We've seen the number 4, Daddy's Rare Edition, kind of float a little bit, 2-1. But the horse that we've seen really take a lot of money is this number 1 horse, actually, that we've not really talked about at all. Just for Charlotte, has gone from 4-1 morning line to 8-5 currently for Jennifer Jordan, who is 0 for 22 at the meet. And the jockey Austin is 0 for 22 at the meet as well. This is not not a great bet in my opinion. Expecting two over trends to suddenly reverse themselves, but we'll see. I didn't really have this horse on my radar at all for this race.
No, and the horse is 1 for 14 at Assiniboia Downs too. That's what I highlighted on my past performances. Was a horse that's raced here plenty of times and has only gotten home once.
Yeah. El Hombre, what did you have any? Were you looking at this number one at all in race number one? Or you? I know you like Dot and Dash, as I do too. I just didn't know if you liked any of the other horses in here.
I mean, I think the speed figures is what everybody's looking at here. But like Colin just said, the horse doesn't like to win here at 2-1. I mean, if it was like a morning line's 4-1, if it was something like that, I could see putting a little money on it. But
yeah,
sheesh, I'm not betting him at 2-1 just for Charlotte. The 4 looks. I like the 3, 4, and 5 a little bit better than the 1.
Yeah.
And the 6 for that matter. I think maybe the 1 is probably my maybe second from the bottom choice here, but that's based on odds too. So I don't know. This race is pretty wide open though. What are you guys thinking here? Because it's the longest shot in the field. It's only a 6-horse field, but I mean they're all 7-1 or under right now on the live betting with 1 minute to post. I was going to try to bet a pick 3, but I don't think I can squeeze one here.
Oh, you got 4 minutes to post. 4 minutes to post for race number 1. So you still got you still got a little bit of time. So you can put together a pick 3.
If I want to, though, I don't know if there's enough time in the evening to put together one that makes a whole lot of sense here. But
yeah,
what are you guys doing? Gun to your head for a top 2 or 3 for an exacta or try.
For a try, I would probably go 3, 4, 6 is kind of the way I'm seeing this race. So Dot and Dash with kind of the 2 morning line favorites, 5-2, 7-2. That's and maybe those will, maybe that ends up being the 3. I mean, because now Dot and Dash just dropped down to 6-1, and suddenly now the number 1 horse is floating up a little bit. So we'll see how this all ends up regulating. But yeah, 3, 4, 6 is kind of what I would do. Maybe an exacta key box of those 3 or something like that is kind of where I might go for a bet in race number 1. Colin, what about you?
I think I am going to put together a little pick 3 because we like some prices in the next 2 legs. I'm going to fade that rail splitter, so I'm going to go 3, 4 in leg 1. I do like Captive Kitten as well as you guys, and I also like to drop a caribou, so I'll go 1, 3 in leg 2. The third leg, I don't know that we've talked much about other than me liking Dazzle and Mischief. I also liked the 6 in there, Golden Eyed.
Yep, same here.
So I will go 6, 7. So I'm going to go, let's see, $1. That's an $8 bet. So I'll go 3, 4 with the 1, 3 with the 6, 7.
I like it.
Yeah, I might
definitely
I might do a little deeper of a pick 3 myself with those because I think there's some prices coming here, babe.
Yeah, I got so I did
I don't know we've been on together early, but we've been like this show early has been on fire. Like races 1, 2, 3, we crush it. And then we hit race 4, and it's like that's where we're all getting sleepy for race 7 is because we're making sleepy picks because we suddenly hit that wall,
Yeah, we are crushing things. We are crushing races 1 through 7 or 1 through 3, and then 4 through 7, everything falls apart once the pick 4 starts.
You would expect that to happen in the lounge where everybody's drinking, but
exactly. I don't even have booze to be able to blame on this, but
I may or may not have a little mixture going here. But
hey, good for you, man.
We'll leave that.
I may open this. It's locked right now, but I may open a Happy Daddy.
There you go.
I don't know what that means, but hey, I got a vacation day tomorrow, so I may or may not get into Grandpa's medicine cabinet. You know what I'm saying?
I dig it.
We got 1 minute to post now. It's actually
we got 2 minutes to post. 2 minutes to post for race number 1.
A little behind mine.
I might need to refresh mine. Hold on, I'll do that real fast. Hold on. So I'll refresh mine because sometimes when I'm not on the same page, it gets delayed a little bit. So we'll see. Here we go. All right.
What's up, Charles? How you doing, man?
So good to see. Good to see Charles hanging out there in the chat. Good to see everybody hanging out there in the chat. Colin dropping his pick 3 ticket there in as well, which is always good. And let me see what is going on. See, Ellenbury, I started to refresh
Screwed
my
you up.
feed, and all hell's broken loose, man.
Happens to the best of us.
But listen, I played a pretty skinny pick 3 where I just went where I went 3-6 in the first leg, 1-3 in the second leg, 3-6 in the third leg. Played at $8 for $1 base. And then I played a slightly different variation of that that cost $12. But yeah, I just went I went pretty skinny, tried to beat a couple favorites and go with some prices. So that was kind of my thought process there with race with those first 3. But let's there we go. Now we're back on track here. So
Yep.
Listen, we got 63 people in the chat. Shout out to everybody out there. Luke, I see you hanging out. That's great to see everybody in there. We got Frank playing exacta key 4 over the 2-3-6. Charles is sharing his pick 3-2-4 over the 2-5-6 over the 3. So love seeing people sharing their tickets there. That's always good times. Hope everybody's cashing there on Monday. Get a little bit of extra spending money. El Hombre's trying to get it for vacation, but maybe you're trying to get it for, the 4th of July holiday and a little extra spending money for the picnic. And yeah, so listen, they're making their way to the gate here for race number 1. And again,
just spent money at a picnic.
Well, you never know. Just save up money so you can get some booze. You can get some extra, burgers to bring. Get a nice T-bone. Get something nice and classy.
Your family must be a little different than mine. My family usually breaks out into a gambling ring of poker games and
that's true. There is that.
And we're betting on cornhole and whatever else you can possibly gamble on. That's just my family, though.
Ice cream truck comes by. We might need a little cash for that.
I see Tim Mee is doing an exacta key box 5 with all. And so he's going Mighty Frisky, who I will say, we haven't talked much about the 5, but the 5, any horse that wins in debut at Assiniboia, I always think is relatively impressive. My only concern is this horse has the slowest workouts. And you just see this horse is like a 106-4, 5 furlong work. And even compared to everybody else, that's really slow up there. And maybe that's just, Michael Nault, the trainer, that's maybe the way he wants to train this horse. Just take it nice and easy. The horse never really turned in blistering workouts before it ended up breaking its maiden. But it's just a little interesting to see. Now, horse should like more distance because it was making up a lot of ground late, going 5 furlongs. So you'd think going 6 would be beneficial. But the interesting thing about this race is there's not a ton of speed necessarily. I mean, I think Zip Into a Press has good speed. Dot and Dash has decent speed, and then Get Up Early, if he can get out, has okay speed, but doesn't need to sit on the lead. So it'll be interesting to see what the pace dynamic looks like and whether or not this race sets up for closers. And obviously, Daddy's Rare Edition is the biggest closer in the field and is your current 3-2 favorite, followed very closely by the number 1, Just for Charlotte. And then there's a 3-way third choice between Dot and Dash, Mighty Frisky, and Get Up Early. So this is a very even race as we get in there. It's basically the favorite. Everybody's right around 7-2 to 5-1, and then one long shot, the number 2, which is Zip Into a Press at 12-1. So yeah, so that's what we got coming in for race number 1. And let us know, how are you betting this one? I see Brett Glotzer's going the 2-4-5 exacta box. El Hombre, did you get that pick 3 in?
Yeah, I played let's see. My ticket is first leg. I went 3-6, looking at prices only. And then I went 1-3-5 and then 3-6-7 in the third leg.
I love it.
I also did a couple key boxes here with the 6 over the 3-4 and the 3 over the 4-6. So
like it.
Looking for one of those 3 or 6 to get up on top. That'd be a great start for my liking, especially if the 4 can get underneath. But let's go make some money, folks.
I know it's all about making some money. We got obviously the pick 5 we got coming up. We got a carryover that's taking place there starting in race 3, and then we got the some big time stuff taking place there in the $50,000 guaranteed pick 4. And they're
dropping one in there, boys. We got to drop a pick 4.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Dollars.
So, yeah, absolutely. So they are starting to get them loaded in here for race number 1. We got 70 people in the chat, so shout out to everybody who's watching. If you tuned in from Stable Duel, we appreciate them putting the link to the feed and the live stream here on the app. So if you're tuning in from there, shout out to them. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you just found us on YouTube, appreciate you finding. Press that like button, press that subscribe button to get all of our great stuff here on Trust the Profits. And we're going to be, and let us know, drop in the chat how you're going to be playing this one. Appreciate seeing everybody, all the activities, all the bets flying out there on the July 3rd day. We had Canada Day the other day. We got 4th of July coming up. So a lot of patriotism. And let's turn things over to Kurt with the call. In race number 1, they're going 6 furlongs, $5,500 claimer, $7,500 claimer.
Good luck.
Now just waiting on Get Up Early to the outside. Dot and Dash a little fractious, as is Just for Charlotte. They're settled. They're at the post.
What are we doing? There we go.
And they're off. Getting away well on the outside. Get Up Early. Zipping to impress. Also showing speed. These two are going to battle it out early. Daddy's Rare Edition. Settled back behind them in 3rd. Then it's Dot and Dash. Mighty Frisky to the outside. And Just for Charlotte, the early trailer, 7 lengths off the lead. The opening quarter, respectable 23 seconds. Get Up Early on the outside. Zipping to impress is right on the inside. Moving up 3 wide. Daddy's Rare Edition and Mighty Frisky making a 4 wide bid. Dot and Dash starting to pick up horses, and Just for Charlotte also moving. 46 and 3 to the half. 2 across. And it's now Daddy's Rare Edition and Mighty Frisky. Daddy's Rare Edition with the lead by a length.
Punching.
Mighty Frisky back for second. Yep. A late bid by Just for Charlotte. But the favorite, Daddy's Rare Edition, is going to win by 5. Mighty Frisky second best. Third's going to go to Just for Charlotte. And 4th to Dot and Dash.
There you go. So chalk hammered there late, and you get the 4. Daddy's Rare Edition gets the job done off the bench. Winner. And obviously we talked about this. Mike Taphorn winning 42% for the meet, 5 wins and 12 starts. This is a horse that is had been firing off some very impressive bullets. And Taphorn was a trainer who over the last year has been winning 43% of races off a really long layoff. I had a feeling he was going to win this race easily when I saw how well he got off. When he was sitting 3rd early, that's much closer than he normally sits to the lead. And I thought, man, if he doesn't have to come from that far off the pace, that could be tough to beat. I was hoping he might be a little bit further back and have more work for himself to do, but man, that was easy to do. Does appear if there's an inquiry here. I don't think the order of finish mattered much, but we'll have to see what the inquiry was about.
Yeah, we all had our 4 involved in our plays here, but I don't think anybody was too keen on the 4 winning easily like that. That was pretty impressive, especially down the stretch. Just made it look easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's an inquiry. What was this must have been early on in the race. I didn't see it.
Might have been the 5 at the start. Seems like off the start, the 5 bumped out to the 6 maybe.
Okay.
That's the only thing I saw in the head-on when they started. The 4 looked to be clean.
Yeah, the only thing I will say, the 3 looked like he had a head of steam going around the turn, and then all of a sudden seemed to get cut off and had to go to the inside. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it either, because the 3 was making really good movement around the turn, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. And next thing you know, I just saw he was on the inside. So I don't know. I don't know Yeah, that'll be interesting. If anybody's watching if anybody has the, is at the track or knows what's going on with the inquiry, let us know.
Maybe they're saying they squeezed that 6 off.
Okay.
I mean, that was pretty close to the start, but the 4 and the 5 the 6 dropped off real quick there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything enough to change the result anyway.
Yeah. I do love when you're listening to Assiniboia Downs and there's an inquiry. He calls it kind of like a football game or like a football referee. He's like, really? There's an inquiry. The results of the inquiry are, and then he like holds out, a little dramatic pause.
Holding. 15-yard penalty. So
they're looking awful proud. I don't think they're taking the 4 down.
Yeah, they're not taking the 4 down. The 4 won for fun. I mean, that's not happening at all. But maybe there's a change underneath.
6. Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe the 6 got pinched towards the beginning of the race. That's really the only thing I saw that was even maybe arguable. But
yeah. 6 against the 2.
Turn the page, baby. I don't know. Did anybody hit that winner? I saw a lot of people survive the first leg of the pick 3. So congrats.
I survived it in my one ticket. So my one ticket
that killed mine. I faded the chalk, even though I had the 4 in my exactas, but I did not have the 5. So not a great first race for me. But we're gonna turn that around here. No big deal.
Yeah.
Tell us if you won some money there.
Yeah, but here we go. We got the official results of race number 1. We got Daddy's Rare Edition getting the win, pays $330, and then Mighty Frisky pays $550 to place, and Just for Charlotte pays $3 to show. The $1 exacta pays $850. The $1 try pays $26.95, and the $1 super pays $72.55. So it kind of was like Daddy's Rare Edition over top of some prices. So I mean, if you're playing vertically, maybe you hit a little something nice there. I see Tado, I think, hit the super for 40 cents, so that's not bad. That's a nice little score.
That's the 6th third place finish for the number 1 at Assiniboia Downs. So we talked about we took all the early money, right? But is 8 for 15 in the money in second and third place at Assiniboia Downs. So not necessarily the horse you want on top, but he has shown consistency, at least in getting in the money.
Yeah, absolutely. So I see right at the wire had the exacta. He had the 4-5 exacta there, so that was good for him. Nice work there getting that and leveraging that one. So that paid off nicely. I think 8-1. So good to see. And man. So now we're moving on to race number 2. And
can I just be clear? I'm gonna put an uncomfortable amount of money on this next race just to try to get a little excitement generated here in the
Let's do
Monday Night Lights. I'm used to playing the lounge. I usually try to put some excitement out there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little uncomfortable. You're gonna see me yell and scream either one direction or the other. And
I'm not gonna be uncomfortable at all. I like it. I remember when do you remember when you were really leveraged in the El Camino Real Derby, and you were like, "Come on, 2-1, come on, 2-1."
When they split on the outside, that was gorgeous.
Remember when that was a wild race at El Camino Real, because remember there was the Baffert who went out 8 lengths ahead of everybody else. Yes. It was like a sprint horse and a rabbit. It was wild. So
we might have to pull up that replay. That was great. Yeah, I hit it, and it was like
Yep.
I want to say it was like a 3-1 and a 5-1 or something. So it was pretty good.
It was something like that. Yeah.
And I think I had a $50 straight exacta. And it was a pretty nice chunk.
Yep. Chase the chaos. That's right.
And it did not look good at the top of the stretch, by the way.
It did not.
Remember that? They were both down. They were both down by I'd say 6 or 8 lengths at the top of the stretch. Yeah.
And then they kept coming. So that was that worked out nicely. I remember that. That was a lot of fun. Actually. So listen,
Lumber, if you hit a huge bid on race 2, I want you to sing "Oh Canada" in honor of Canada Day.
Hell yeah. I will, man. I don't know the words, but I'll try. I can.
Yeah, we'll
you grew up right there. You should know the words.
Yeah.
I know the Windsor Ballet. That's about all I know about Canada.
Well, listen, we got stuff coming up here in race number 2. Obviously, our stable duel has already been it's already set. Everybody's stable duel is already set, and so we'll keep you updated on the stable duel contest. Shout out to the 76 people who are hanging out with us. So
ended up so in the one. Remember, I was talking about having that decision on that 4, right? In the one stable, I used the 4. The other stable, I didn't use anybody in race 1. So we'll see how that works out for me.
Yeah,
I did take out a home equity as Frank's calling me out. Absolutely.
Yeah, and Mitchell, it is in fact Barry Propel. It's not even. I'm not like sneaking some vodka in here. This
dirty. I was going to say dirty little secret. There's half full of vodka.
Yeah. There better not be because I already polished off a grape, and so if this is vodka, it's going to be a long. Well, it's actually not going to be a long night. I'll be passed out by race 3.
It'll be quick for you, dude. You'll be blacked out through the second half.
The sleepy pick of the night will be Matt to see this.
Sleepy pick, I'm just passed out. That would actually be funny if I was just like on the stream but just passed out for the last 2 hours.
I think we do have to have a live stream where somebody just gets wrecked. I'll volunteer if you want. But.
Hey, I'm here for it. So
you're off the rest of the week. Get going.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
I do have tomorrow off. Yeah. I don't think I have enough booze in my house to get wrecked, though. I'll try if you want. I mean, hey.
Yeah, I got some booze downstairs that I can bust out later.
You're a little far away, man. That's about a 10-hour drive for me, I think, or 8.
Yeah, from me down to you. Yeah, for sure. All right, folks, listen. It's time to get your Antonio Whitehall bets ready because the man has joined the live stream. We got Sean. Sean Patrick Nolan, what is going on, my friend?
Hello, guys. How are you?
There he is.
Happy 4th of July to everybody.
Happy 4th, Sean. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to some fun Assiniboia action tonight and making some money for the kids.
Heck yeah. So
we're getting carried away, Sean. I already declared I'm going uncomfortable money for race 2.
Love it.
I love it too. And there's a big long shot that's jockeyed by Antonio that we both like in this race, the number 1 Captive Kitten.
Yeah.
So we like that one a little bit.
Kitten's going to be involved. I guarantee you that.
And by the way, that horse has gotten hammered all the way down to 5-2 already. So 15-1 morning line.
Just looking at that.
Talk about a great. I mean, we'll see how this horse ends up running, but that is the epitome of a great stable duel play. Because you could use this horse in stable duel. You pay $500 for this horse. Now the horse is 5-2. If the horse is 5-2 morning line, you pay $8,500 for the horse. You got it for $500 at 15-1. So it's an absolute bargain. Sean, how are you doing with everything? I mean, how was your how was everything with Canada Day at Woodbine? How are you? I saw you were following those races intently. Some big takeaways that day. Some great racing.
Some fabulous racing. Racing. The 3-year-old picture is really getting good. There's a gray horse up there named Kiki Kai Poo, who just seems to he just keeps running. Chad Brown brought an Irish bred horse up to run against them.
Yeah, on the turf.
And he just missed right behind him. He's an Irish bred, so he can't run in the Queen's Plate.
Oh, that's right.
So Kiki Kaipu was right behind him. So he's definitely establishing himself as the leader kind of in the clubhouse right now at Woodbine. But very interesting when our friend Sherry DeVoe had Northern Invader win very impressively at Belmont, and he's a Canadian bred. So he could very well end up in the King's Plate as well, which could be a very exciting prospect. And I'm sure Johnny V would be more than happy to accompany him up there. Kind of
absolutely.
That
was awesome to see Northern Invader get the first time on the turf too, and clearly took to it and it did great. So that was really awesome and I believe it was that Cherie's first win at Belmont.
It was her first ever win at Belmont. Very exciting. Yeah.
Hard to believe for a trainer as accomplished as she is. I was stunned when I saw her post that.
I thought she was joking for a second, but she is her first win. Exactly.
Yeah. No, that was awesome.
Adrienne, I said, is she right? I said, her sister said, is she right? Said, yeah, it's our first win. I said, wow.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. So, listen, we're moving on to race number 2. Listen, we all like Captive Kitten, but the problem is the world likes Captive Kitten, and Captive Kitten is now 3-1, down from 15-1 morning line.
The needle.
We have indeed. This is the problem. I'll be honest. The Trust the Profits needle we move the line at Assiniboia too much.
Yes.
We absolutely do. It's confirmed fact that we're moving these lines. El Hombre's making mortgage payments on this race. Colin's putting a couple bucks down, but because he's not going to take any to the picnic tomorrow, I'm putting $5 down here and there. We're moving the lines here.
He's saving up for his 1,000th of a share of logins as children.
Yes,
exactly.
MyRacehorse.com.
I'm gonna buy the NFT of logins.
Yeah. But listen, looking at the board right now, do we still like Captive Kitten, or are you looking somewhere else? Colin, I'll kind of start with you. I mean, where are you kind of looking in this race now? Maybe beyond the number 1 Captive Kitten, if that one gets bet down too much, or are you just staying on that one and that's it?
Well, we got our pick 3 in, so we're not going to get any cuter than that. We're hopefully going to get by with this 1 or the 3. Drop a Caribou at 7-2. That would probably be what I'd be more interested in for a win bet over a 5-2 on the 1. You're hoping that the 1 Captive Kitten, who's by Kitten's Joy I love, kind of fires that same race last time. Whereas at least with Drop a Caribou, you've gotten 3 in a row. And then the 5 Rail Splitter is the speed of the speed figures, right? I mean, the speed figures on the 5 going by Brisnet really kind of stand out. The 2 has some, but that's going back to the fairground races in March of 22.
Yeah.
So I would actually say at 5-2, Rail Splitter now becomes a little bit more intriguing for me.
Yeah, certainly more palatable than 6-5 on the morning line. I still, we talked about this. Like, the horse still hasn't won on a dry fast track, so I just, that's just a kind of, I don't want to say a non-starter for me, but it's just something to note that the horse's victories have come on the synthetic or on the turf or on a muddy, sloppy track. And has never won on a dry fast track. So it's just a concern. Drop a Caribou, I like very much. I agree with you. That's kind of, if the odds are where they are now, 7-2 for Drop a Caribou, that's one I like a little bit. And this is a horse that's on a 3-race winning streak. And I love this horse has just consistently stepped up. Non-winners of 2, non-winners of 3, non-winners of 4, just win, win, win. He's just been going straight through this level of competition. And now, going up against some other horses, a good barn for Tom Carterby Jr. SPN, where did you go with this one, Sean?
I did not use the 1 here, which is in my stable. I'm using them in my bets, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not using them. I just went with Drop with a Caribou just as my single in the stable duel. I was like you. I was like, the 5 just did not impress me, especially for the money. As you said, he never won on a thing. This horse kind of reminds me of Drop a Caribou right now. It's kind of like the Frank's Reload, the Woodbine angle coming. This horse just seems to really like this, and Assiniboia Downs dirt, and he's getting better and better, and LA seems to fit with him very well. So I just used him. I did use the 3 and the 1 in exacta boxes. But I just like the 3 as a single just in stable duel.
I like it. I did 3 was my top pick when I did capping the card. 1 was my value play. That might actually get reversed. The 1 might actually end up being the 3 might end up being a value play by the time the line gets set. We'll have to see kind of how that plays out. But yeah, it's intriguing because as they're bringing them onto the track, 3 minutes to post. We'll bring the feed up here momentarily, but. It's a pretty close board between Rail Splitter at 2-1, or now 9-5, Drop a Caribou at 3-1, Captive Kitten at 3-1, as well as Dino at 9-2. So I mean, those 4 are not all that far apart. So it's a pretty close board, I would have to say, between everyone. So just something to make note of there. But let me try to get the. We got another member of the Prophets here. We got she is fresh fresh from the her in-laws, if I'm not mistaken, her future in-laws potentially. So she's right from the road straight onto the live stream. Jess, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I will preface everything I say tonight by with the caveat that I am on vacation, and as such, I am a few drinks deep. However, I was really excited to come on tonight and talk about Assiniboia. I thought there were some really fun races tonight, so I was like, you know what?
I love it.
I can it gives me also an excuse to avoid the packed Airbnb where all of my future in-laws, family, and friends are hanging out, and I can just stay at the nice quiet house. And I have stuff to do tonight, so
fantastic. Indeed, you do. You have to play some bets here.
Exactly, I am working.
Exactly.
I like it.
Jess, who do you we're here on race 2. We got 2 minutes to post. Did you have a play in this one? I know you said you did get a stable duel entry entered, so I know you probably took a look at this one. Where are you going in race 2?
Yeah, I liked the 3 in here. I thought the recent form was just too much to overlook here, and I thought 3-1 was definitely reasonable. I definitely did also look at the 1. I ended up finding other places to find that nice little 15-1 type morning line horse, but I thought the 1 made a lot of sense here as a nice stable duel horse, and I'm not surprised to see that he's been bet down the way he has. That last out race was really impressive, and the step up makes sense. Just a little bit of one of those horses where you're like, I don't know how much I can trust that last race, so we'll pass on that one for the stable duel, but absolutely makes sense underneath. And again, like the 5, another horse who has been consistent at the level and just makes a lot of sense.
Yep. So the El Hombre, we got a minute to post here, but they're still, they're on the track. They're not loading in or anything like that. And so, 2 minutes to post on the graphic. What is the uncomfortable bet that we're making in race number 2 here?
Yes.
Well, it's early, so I'm just doing a quick $20 exacta box, a key box, 1 over the 3.5, and then a $20 exacta key box, 3 over the 1.5. So nothing crazy. I mean, just $160.
No, I like it. Yeah.
$160 wager for race 2 early.
There you go.
Keep it light just in case for later I can get a little carried away if I need to. But
ladies and gentlemen, we're moving the board. Bottom line,
we're up over 80 people in the chat. That's awesome. Can I ask you guys though, real quick, a pick 3 starting now? I'm gonna single the 3 here. If you're gonna, I'm gonna start a new pick 3 here. I'm gonna single the 3, and then I don't know what to do with the next race necessarily. What do we recommend here?
All right, hold on a second. Christ,
race 3. I like the 6 at a little bit of a price, but
I like the 6. That's my. I'm 3, 4, 6.
In race 3, I am 3. I'm also 3, 4, 6. Actually, I know Colin likes the 7 as well. And Dazzling Mischief is a horse I looked at. I think Dazzling Mischief is used very highly in stable duel, if I'm not mistaken.
And then the race 4, I like
3,
the
6,
1.
4 in there. So
3, 6, 4 also.
Yeah.
What about race 4? I like the 1 a little bit. Obviously,
I got 1.
Dazzling and Mischief. Antonio too. Yeah, I have that too.
Yeah, I got 1, 4 in race 4. That's what I got in race 4.
We're trying to beat that 7.
I have the 2.
2, 4, 1.
I have a 2.
I thought the 2 in race 4 was just like a ridiculous morning line price and kind of like the stable duel horse of the night.
Oh, nice.
All
right, the Gardapi
made a lot
horse
of sense in race 4.
Yeah,
not afraid.
Take a step forward. Yeah.
I'm not.
Coming up from turf.
But it's been at that level before, which was why I wasn't worried about the step up. Really hasn't run a bad race. Even that one race that could be classified as like the bad race was fine. So I liked that 2 horse a lot in race 4.
Yep.
All right. Let's go.
I want to know what happened to S. Chickeness. The guy was the person was working with that horse like forever,
I know. Where is it Sheldon? Yeah, where is Sheldon?
Yeah, Sheldon. Yeah, where'd he go?
I don't know where Sheldon Chicken is. Although if you're not mistaken, I believe Sean he was involved in kind of the one shady race last year that got a lot of attention. He was. Yes,
so
I don't know if maybe Assiniboia gave him the Baffert treatment Churchill and said maybe you're not welcome here for a little while. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. Yes.
But
hey, Kevin.
But yeah, good to see everybody hang out here in the chat and let us know how you're playing race number 2. If you're playing a pick 3 or playing a daily double, let us know how you're playing, what you're on, so we can try to root you home here.
By the way, Matt,
And,
Tim playing that pick 3 with an all bag in the first race here. I'm not upset with that call. I think this race is pretty tough, man. I mean, I know we kind of all
This
agreed
is a
on
wide
the 3.
open spot.
Oh, this could be five horses could legitimately, I think, win this race. You know,
so I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you for the all bag here. I'm playing it a little tighter with the 5. I mean, the 5 was the morning line. It looks like it's going to be the post time favorite as well. And I like the 3 and the 1, but
I mean, in the sequence, this is definitely, I feel like, the most wide open of the 3 of the pick 3.
Yep, agreed.
By far. Yep.
So I'm pretty hard on the 1 and the 3 to be involved in this exacta. Let's see.
The silence is all of us getting our bets in order.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
exactly. Pin drop.
Yeah, I'll say that I'm excited about the free stable duel contest the next 2 days in Assiniboia. That's really awesome. I managed to go today. It turns out some of the folks who are here for the party tomorrow were talking just yesterday about betting horses. And so that came up today while we were all at the pool, and I was like, well, it just so happens, actually, Assiniboia Downs has free pass performances, so I think I might have gotten some of my future relatives into the idea of playing tomorrow night.
Fantastic.
Along with the Assiniboia stable duel thing. I'm like, I'll print out a form, I'll bring it over, I'll teach y'all how to handicap real quickly.
That's awesome.
We'll play tomorrow.
It's a weird thing to talk to people about something that we are all like geeks like us are so entrenched in, and then try to explain to people, yeah, I'm into the horses a little bit. It's like,
right.
They have no idea to the level.
I tried to explain briefly like what goes into it. I was like, so you have like pace. Each horse has like a different running style, and then like you have like your numbers that each horse is running. That's your speed figures for each race, and you can look at that. And then you can look at like what level the horse has been doing those at, and like up and down. And those are like my always when I'm like teaching new people. I'm like my 3 go-to things are pace, speed, class. Like I feel like if you can teach someone that, and they're fairly easy things, that's a really good like start. Base for them to be like, okay, I know what I'm looking at enough that I can come up with an opinion on it.
Yeah.
Even if you could then dive way deeper than that, obviously. But I feel like that's a really good like baseline. All right, these are the things. I'm like, this is how you look at the speed figures. This is how a running line looks.
Yep.
Go.
Absolutely. So speaking of go, we are getting close here to post time, and they're loading them up. So we are going to turn things over to Kurt as they get rail splitter loaded in here, and then they got one left to load.
Rail splitter.
3-1 or 5, or it's going to get ugly in here.
Now just waiting on Himmelstein to the outside.
Oh, Himmelstein.
The field is set. They're at the post. And they're off. Stumbling a bit at the start was Drop a Caribou, but recovers nicely and is on the front with Himmelstein to the outside. Settled in on the rail in third is Dino. Captive Kitten secures the rail. 3 wide is Mr. Walsh. And the early trailer will be Rail Splitter, only 2.5 off the lead. It's Drop a Caribou through an opening quarter in 25-1. And now Mr. Walsh gets the lead and opens up by 2. Drop a Caribou back to second in between horses. Settling down, that's going to be Dino. 3 wide, Himmelstein. Captive Kitten secures that rail, and it's just sitting there, and Rail Splitter is ready to make a big wide move. A sped up half mile in 49-1, and Rail Splitter just explodes on him and grabs the early lead. Captive Kitten behind horses in a world of trouble. Rail Splitter with the lead. Dino in between horses. Captive Kitten has found a hole. But Rail Splitter got away and is up by 2 with the 16th of a mile to go. Captive Kitten has more to offer. These two, Rail Splitter hangs on for the win. Very close. It looked like Captive Kitten in second. Third's going to go to Dino, and fourth to Himmelstein.
There you go. So Rail
I caught
Splitter got
half,
the
man.
jump.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end up breaking close to even on that deal, I think.
That was man, did Antonio have Captive Kitten in all sorts of
I
trouble
know.
there on
Yeah,
the
he
rail.
did.
And that is why I hate pocket trips.
Yes.
And this is the worst. I know some people claim it's the worst. This is the best trip. I think it's the absolute worst trip because if the rail doesn't open up, you, my friends, are screwed. And that is
So luck
exactly what
dependent.
happened. Yeah, the rail did not open up, and the one was loaded for bear and had nowhere to go, and
Yeah.
finally got open, and then typical.
Too late.
Yeah, and so the one was, but very impressive effort by Rail Splitter there. First win over a dry fast surface for him, that was an interesting.
By the way,
go for it.
So we're going to get Ombre off the bridge here, right? 5 and 1 pays $38 for $2.
There you go.
Way more than I thought I was going to pay.
That is not bad at all, my friend. That is quite
That was
good.
very logical.
Yeah. There you go.
That's way too logical to pay that. Why did that pay that much? Is my question.
I don't know.
Don't
question things. Just accept.
Yeah. I mean, I played it two different ways.
Move on.
I played it two different ways. I had the three.
This is when you say, "This is exactly in my head how I saw it."
Yeah.
Take credit. No, this is what I was planning on the whole time.
Hey, dude,
I should have bet 200.
As soon as that was over, when you got done talking, or before I got done talking, I was thinking to myself, I think I broke even on that deal. I said,
yeah.
No, I did way better than that because I thought Tim, El Hombre, and Logical in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So it's we got that one. Got that one home. That works. That was an interesting mid-race move by Mr. Walsh, who decided to try to, obviously didn't like the fact that Drop a Caribou was just trying to walk the dog up front. Went really slow. Mr. Walsh then kind of goes up, presses the pace, and then Drop a Caribou kind of gets pushed back a little bit, I think, because of that, and just race dynamics changed. But
he lost
they were
right
all
there. He lost all chance right there when Ali just took him backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was.
I agree.
Ali had no plan B or C.
That was the lock of the card for Stable Duel, though. I think was the one horse there.
Yeah.
Paying dividends,
listen,
15-1 more than for sure.
Yeah.
And should have won that race. Really should have won that race.
He really
should have.
He was best.
Should have. Yeah, he was. He was the best.
Much the best. Much the best.
But this happens. But we got the official results here. So Rail Splitter pays $5.90 to win. Captive Kitten pays $4.40 to place. Dino pays $2.60 to show. The $1 exacta pays $19.60. The $1 try pays $58, and the $1 superfecta pays $226.10. So we got, and the $1 double pays $4.60, despite it being chalk in the first two legs. So so listen, the one was I now need to go look at what percentage of stables use the one in Stable Duel, because I got to imagine it was a lot. And indeed, it was actually not as much as you think. 29%. I would have thought
good.
I would have thought it was a lot more than that. And actually, the number one horse used. Well, it's interesting. This race was really fascinating. From a Stable Duel perspective, 29% of people use Captive Kitten, 24% of people use Dino, 35% of people use Drop a Caribou, 8% of people use Mr. Walsh, 28% of people use Rail Splitter, and 14% of people use Himmelstein. So it was spread out, I mean, pretty evenly amongst a few different horses. So interesting to see how that kind of played out there in race number 2 on Stable Duel. We'll keep you updated with all the different odds on or all the different standings as we get through that. But listen, we're through 2 races. El Hombre's up. We're doing all right.
I'm up 230 on that one, baby.
Yep.
There you go. That's the whole idea.
Watching that replay again. What a weird
I
move.
thought I was going to break even, so I'll take it.
I know.
On the floor. That was a strange move.
I know.
I mean, like, I feel it was, he just saw that, he felt the 25 quarter and was like, let's go up and make him work for it. I feel like, give my horse the best chance to be up close to that.
Yes,
But
yeah. And you will see that sometimes at Assiniboia, where they will just kind of make that middle move because they're going so slow, going 2 turns initially.
Hey, Matt, there's
so
a
that does
question
happen
on
sometimes. Yeah.
Stable duel. That's a good question, Basil. It's a huge thing of note to take into consideration on stable duel too.
So the way you see it is if you go into the individual horse card. So if you go in and if you, like, for instance, if you go to your stable, you can just click to your stable, and then you can just click on any number one of the horses that you have. Up at the top of your horse card, and I'll use my phone here just to kind of show people. On the top left-hand side, you'll see a little number that in this case of Captain Kitten, it says 104 over 345. That tells you that 104 stables out of the 354 stables that have been entered, or 29%, have actually used that horse. So you can see that both after the racing starts, but also before the racing starts. You can actually see that as you're building your stable to see who are the popular horses that are being used. Sometimes you can zig with the crowd. Other times it's worth to zag against the crowd. Particularly if you see a favorite that everybody's using that you don't particularly like, that can really result in a huge jump for you if you're right in those stable duel rankings to go against the grain. So that's just
I love trying to find a very, especially if it's a bomb.
Yeah.
If I'm going to take a shot on a bomb that I don't necessarily love, I like to try to find one that nobody else is on. Or very, very.
I know. I think there was one horse in this race today, the series of races. I think only like 4% of people were on. I was like, I like this horse. I don't care what anybody says.
Because if you win on that horse, you're getting a huge advantage on everybody else versus if you hit one that's 50% of the stables are on, you're not really gaining much.
Yeah, that's something I feel like I need to start taking into account more when I'm building stables. I've only just started I think Preakness weekend was my first stable that I really played in stable duel. But looking at my 2 horse later on, that I'm like, this horse seems like a kind of a no-brainer on stable duel at 10-1 in the 4th race. But looking at it, it was 40% of people have that horse. So if that horse doesn't win, if you find the winner against that horse, you're gonna do well against those other folks.
But if it's a cheap horse, you can also look at it I guess I'm thinking the same way as everybody else. It's kind of reassuring.
Yeah.
At least I'm not on drugs with this prediction.
Yeah.
I mean, on this channel, I've done really well when I have the only opinion that nobody else has, at least so far. And conversations with the Trusted Profits folks, at least, the big days, like Preakness and Belmont, when I have an opinion that nobody else has, it's done pretty well for me. I think Faiza is beatable, and think Forte is going to run a good race. Were my 2 opinions that nobody else had, and I was like, I don't know if I'm stupid, but
we won't talk about the Preakness with Matt here because he's going to just gloat endlessly.
Now stop.
it was a good pick. It made sense.
I was hammering that horse, and El Hombre knows this. I was on that horse since before last year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile. I loved that horse, National Treasure, for a long time. And then I finally cashed, and that was good. You know what else is good? Colin's back, and that's good too. Colin has done his has helped out the wife. He's done some family stuff, and now he's back. Are the kids in bed now? Is everything all right, Colin? What's going on?
Yeah, sometimes the horse needs a little help getting in the stall or in the gate when they're kicking up. Well, my kid was kicking up and needed to call in some reinforcements, so he's down. He's down and out, and hopefully the fireworks don't wake him up. And but I think we're good to go. But I'm licking my wounds like Captive Kitten. I thought could get there.
That was great how we got there for second though.
No, killer for me. Killer.
Yeah.
Remember my high pressure bet that I was making there?
What was it? I didn't hear what you bet though.
I got the 135 exacta pretty much for $20. And then
nice.
I paid 39 for 2. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Little 230 profit. So now I got a little play money for the rest of the night. I do want to play $1 pick 4 though tonight.
Oh yeah.
For the team here. That starts next race, right?
We do, but
$1 pick 4 starts the next race. The pick 5 starts this coming race.
Not doing it.
in race number 3. That's the great part, is you only got to wait 2 races to start getting into the late pick 5 here out of Assiniboia.
That's a great
7-race
point.
card.
Colin, which race is the sleepy horse?
We'll see.
Is it race
It's
6
usually
or race 7?
7? Yeah, it's a late.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
gotcha.
a
Okay.
late choice.
Yeah.
But El Hombre, we've learned on this show that as soon as the next race is over, we got to start capping for that pick 4 because it goes by fast. It's not like Chucktown. It's not like Chucktown where we can talk about the bad stuff for an hour and then still have an hour to handicap.
Yeah, Charlestown. 9:20 post time. 9:40. We'll be fine.
9:40 to start capping.
Yeah. So I will say I do have a pick 3 that is still alive, and we'll see how that pays, if anything. But let's see, who am I alive to in the pick 3? I got a $1 pick 3 that's alive to. No, that wouldn't pay bad. That would pay what? 15, and basically 15 for an $8 ticket. Not much, but chalk. So we'll see. All right, we're moving on. Race number 3, $7,500 claimer. We're going 6 furlongs, and this is for 3-year-olds and up. And this is actually part of the Manitoba Bred Incentive Program. That's a whole nother discussion. But in this one, I was a little chalky in this one. I thought Little Toe looked very good, the 3. And then as a little bit more of a play, I did like the number 6 Golden Eyed quite a bit. And I think, Colin, you mentioned you like Dazzling Mischief, or maybe it was somebody else that mentioned they like Dazzling Mischief. But 3, 6, 7 were kind of the ones I was interested in here. And so, Colin, I'll go to you first because you're just joining us back. Where were you in this race?
Yeah, I used 7 at a price, Dazzle Mischief, as I mentioned in the 8 to 8:30 hour. It's a little too weekly, we say, because we have to do that now as we go 4 hours on the show. And when I was in upstairs, I noticed we had 100 viewers. So thank you to all of you out there.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Yeah,
we never know what's going to happen on a holiday night, but this gives us incentive to keep going, as they say. But I looked at the breeding in this race, so we need to hit Jessica up for this one. But I love to see up in Assiniboia Downs when you see Malibu Moon and Golden Sense and Into Mischief. Oh, look, the 3 horses Matt liked. I decided to look at this number 7. I'm hoping that you get back to how this horse was running in July, August, and September of last year. Sure, the first 2 off the bench this year have left to be desired, especially 2-1 favorite in that first race off the bench. And then last race lost by 10 lengths. So certainly not something that you're interested in. But what I like is when that happens, you're going to get a price. And he was 10-1. He just ticked down to 7-1. So people are listening and they're live betting Colin Sheehan right here, which is always a dangerous thing. But I used the 7 solo in one of my stables, and then I did use this 6 Golden Eyed at 9-2. It's just the exact opposite of what Matt talks about with the 1 in the last race, getting a nice value. I spent a lot of money, and now he's 10-1 on the bottom on the board. So we'll see how those 2 pay off.
Absolutely. Jessica, where are you going in this one? Colin kind of set you up talking about some, and I will say for Assiniboia, there are some big pedigrees in this race that you don't typically see. But I know, you and I have talked about this before. You've mentioned this several times as well, that after a couple of races, pedigree is something you don't always pay attention to, but it's just intriguing to see it, like an Into Mischief and a Golden Sense horse up here. So where did you go in these races?
Yeah, definitely. I liked the 3 on top, but I went with the 6 in Stable Duel. I mean, the 3 looks like he's probably the speed unless the 1 gets out of the gate. If the 1 gets out of the gate, he has races to go back to that are faster than what the 3 can do, but he hasn't been getting out of the gate lately at Assiniboia. So, 3 looks like the pace of the race, probably going to be up front. He has the best recent speed figures, but I went with the 6. You do have to kind of hope that he gets back to those races last year. But he's taken a little bit of a drop, and hopefully that easier company here will wake him up a little bit is kind of my hope with him.
Yep.
I also thought the 4 was interesting, Marquis Well, but kind of a little bit too short of a price to really lean into that much. But he was beaten ahead by the favorite last time out, and however, it's been 20 starts since his last win. So, and he needs a pace to run into. So I was like, he was a horse that I looked at for a little bit and then ended up passing on. But I'm 3-6 in here.
There you go. Sean, where did you go in this race?
Yeah, I was very similar. I went both the 6 and the 7 in this race, and I'm as I'm handicapping more and more. This is kind of funny. My eye is kind of landing. Okay, how many horses does Praven Badry ride? Because he seems to like I'm like, well, he used to ride him. Now he's on another horse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. But he does stick with this horse, which I think is a good sign, especially with Danielson, that he has confidence in this horse that can run it. And that's what I really liked about this horse here. And then the 7, obviously it's Whitehall, and hopefully he's angry about the last ride. But I just like the fact this horse he always seems to be there. At least last year, as Jessica said, hopefully he can find that form. And Colin said nice that he can get that form back. But Antonio kind of has the keys to this horse. And I think that maybe the last race was just something hopefully went wrong. And then Antonio knows how to get this horse going. And for value play, he was definitely worth a stable dual play.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can, for those that don't know, if you go on the player portal at Assiniboia Downs, not only do they have Matt's capping the card, they also use Jeff's charting horse values, which if those of you haven't used those before, they're a great tool. You can jump on his website and check it out. But he actually has this 7 Dazzle and Mischief as his SA+. So that's a spot play with an A+ grade with a 1. That means that this horse fits really well. Little Toe has a 1.3. So that, you kind of want a 1 to show that the horse fits in the race. Little Toe has a 1.3 and Dazzle and Mischief has a 1, but obviously getting an A+ because of the value with the morning line 8-1. I think that's probably where Jeff is going, and he gives it a 4. That's 1 out of 5. He gives this race a 4 on how good it is of a betting race. And I'll throw in the fact that he's had the last 2 winners in the last 2 races by the horses on top, but that's not saying much with the prices that you got.
I was going to say, well, Jeff is good at picking out chalk, and so that was very, very talented there. El Hombre, where are you going with this race today? Where are you going with this third?
I'm going 3-0 exacta.
3-0. All right.
If you look at the probables,
if
you look at the probables right now, the lowest payout on an exacta with the 3 on top is $8. And the rest of them are like in the 20s. So if it comes 3, anybody else but 4, you're looking at $20 plus exact on a buck. I think the three is the most logical winner. I think most of us agreed on that. And I think it's fairly balanced underneath. Hopefully I get one of the bigger prices in the exacta. So for that, it's a $6 bet for $1. Maybe I'll do a $5 3-all, so a $30 total bet.
I'm digging it. I mean, I definitely like this 3 a lot. So
it takes the guesswork out for second because I can't. I mean, I like the 7 a little bit. I definitely, if you put a gun to my head, I'd probably put the 6 second. I agreed. The 6 I think is my stable dual horse. I liked him a lot earlier, but and the 3 at 6-5 right now, I really maybe have to go a little heavier, Maybe.
Well, we have a Keith Bush sighting tonight.
We do have a Keith Bush sighting. I knew that if I attacked computer models, that Keith would come out into the comments. I knew that was going to happen. And I got to give a huge shout out to Keith, though, because he has put together the Equus model. And if anybody plays Stable Duel, you see Equus model out there. That is Keith. And he's really put together a really great system. And so I have a ton of respect for Keith and everything he does. Super nice guy. I actually had a chance to meet him at the Breeders' Cup last year and couldn't have been a nicer person. So Keith's a great guy, and Jeff's a great guy too. I joked about Jeff picking chalk. I like Jeff quite a bit, actually.
If this exact the next race 2-3 comes out, I'm going to be very impressed.
Yeah. So we'll we'll see.
Jeff's been on the channel a couple of times, actually.
Absolutely. Jeff's been on the channel. No, he's a friend of the network.
Absolutely.
So listen, we're getting close here to, and I'll pull the feed.
He comes on, he's had a couple drinks on the program with us.
He has.
Yes, absolutely.
And
a little bit of a beer snob.
We got even odds on Little Toe, and then Marquis Wells at 9-2. And then everybody else, yeah, you're right. You're gonna Hombre, you're right. Like if you can avoid that 4, which I think you can, because to Jess's point, like that 4's got races from like years ago that look good, but like recently it's not been stellar necessarily in terms of placement of finish. And so if you can get past that 4, then you're looking at a price underneath. I mean, you're getting a decent enough price with, if you get the 6 or 7 to run underneath there, or even one of the bigger bombs. So I like it.
I talk a lot of shit, but there is a little bit of logic behind the madness. I'm not. An idiot.
Yeah. No, you.
I know
no,
what.
Don't worry. Don't worry about what anybody says about you. No, you
think I care what anybody thinks? Come on.
I know.
Talking about Tim Me. Tim Me said something about logic and El Hombre in the same sentence.
Hey,
which I
yeah,
I know Tim Me comes. He's in the lounge every week. I'm joking, but
he is. No, Tim
Me's
good
dude. Like mathematically, it just makes sense. Honestly, I like a nice exacta all bet if it makes sense. The famous one, Matt, I reference it all the time. Flight line all in the freaking Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yep.
There was one where it made sense, and it was bada boom, bada bing with an 18 piece underneath.
Yep.
Olympiad was the biggest bomb.
Junior getting up. Yeah.
Yep. I did. It's funny. I didn't do an all, but I did do. That's a great reference point because I remember looking up.
That'll
the board.
Forever be my reference because it really clarifies like the logic of betting it in all with if you can key something on top and just bombs away underneath and you. And in a race like this, dude, like you said, if it doesn't come the 4, even if it is the 4, I'm going to profit. If it comes at the 6, I'll like double my money. The rest of them, I'll like quadruple or more my money as long as the 3 wins. So, I mean, it's just logical.
I see now I see in the comments Tim Me is playing. He's playing an all. He's going an exacta key all with the 1. Lucky Luke. That's a horse we've not talked about yet, but certainly a horse that is taking a step forward from first to second time out from a buyer speed figure standpoint, is stepping up a little bit in class, going from these claiming 4s to a claiming 75. But is now actually cutting back a little bit.
Speed.
Yeah.
I feel like, he has races to go back to that absolutely put him on the lead here. He just hasn't gotten out of the gate those last 2 at Assiniboia.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good
point. Hammering that 1, baby.
Whoa.
And
good luck, buddy.
And what I'll say is, Sean knows this. Any horse breaking from the number 1 post, you got to be skeptical about because that post might be haunted. I don't know.
That is why I did not use Antonio in the second race. I'm not kidding you. I was worried about the 1 hole and him getting him exactly. I don't have very few 1s. Exactly.
It is wild to see the number of problems that the 1.
This one actually lost a captive kitten in that last race.
Oh, so live.
Live
coming out. Yeah.
But
I hope Christopher D'Souza wins this race.
Yeah, that 1 gate has been. Sean and I have seen more horses get fractious, get vet scratched, completely blow the brake, lose their rider. Like, I mean, I can't tell you the number of bad things that have happened to horses coming out of the 1 gate, and literally all the other gates are fine. And the 1 gate is just like cursed, I swear. So I just I'm always hesitant when I like a few horses that are on the 1 gate this today, but it just makes me nervous because it's just like every time I tune in, it's like, oh, the 1 horse is fractious. I'm like, Jesus, of course he is. It's just every time. So
one time he jumped over the fence and ran on the turf.
Right.
Yeah,
that still might be the best comment we've ever gotten in the lounge, other than Mr. Automatic declaring that it sucks, was when the guy was like, the horse clearly just like the turf. And so
I missed that one.
The week before that, the 1 took a left turn and went the wrong way. Remember that?
Right. And was running against the traffic. Yeah, it was running against, like you saw the horses going across the finish line and the 1 is kind of running past in the other direction. Hysterical. And so,
you'd love to see it.
Yeah, no, the 1 is just I tell you, it's cursed. So, listen, we got 85 people, 87 people here watching tonight on the stream.
Everybody.
Thank you so much. Colin mentioned earlier, really appreciate it. Press the subscribe button, press the like button here on the video. Helps us spread the word. Press the subscribe button here on Trust the Profits. We're going to have these every Monday and Tuesday night from now through the end of the meet. Once we get the NFL. What I was going to mention. Yeah, what I was going to reference, El Hombre, was once the NFL season starts, we're going to shift these to Tuesday nights. Yep. And then we, of course, have the Cocktail Lounge on Thursdays. So always doing that. But
I forgot about the Tuesday night shift for Monday Night Football, which football season, baby. I know it's coming up. Be coming up anytime soon, can it?
It's still like a month or so away, or like a month or so away from preseason stuff. But yeah, it's a little while. Yeah. So we got we got Barchi, man. We got Tom sharing some knowledge here. That the rail is 0 for 28 at 6 furlongs at Assiniboia. Wow. Yeah, there you go. Tom just dropping some analytics on my rather qualitative analysis of the one is cursed. This is actually providing a little bit more analysis. So
David Barista going in on the 3 with the 67. I like that bet.
I like that.
Then, I like that. Look at the 4. The 4 is taking a S load of money here at the wire.
Yes. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. Marky Well really getting. Woo. Yeah. The CAWs are getting in on the 4. But
you notice that team class? I held back on the swearing on Monday night.
Yeah, you did well. It's you never know. It's a holiday weekend. Maybe you got some family playing. So listen, we're gonna turn things over to Kurt here as they got them loaded in here for race number 3. Again, this is a $7,500 claimer going 6 furlongs on the dirt. Your favorite currently is the number 3 Little Toe, followed by the number 4, Marquee Well. I think all of us are looking at the 6-7 as potential prices, maybe up top or underneath. Good luck to everybody playing. Turn it over to Kurt for the call.
Side. The field is set. They're at the post. And they're off. From the inside, Little Toe, as expected, goes out to grab the early lead. Lucky Luke to the inside in second. Golden-eyed, 3 wide, now engaging Little Toe, 4 wide. Dazzling Mischief, a length and a half back. That's Marquee Well coming up the rail with Heavenly Trip. And your early trailer was Gold Special. 23 seconds, the opening quarter, and it's Golden-eyed and Little Toe. They're battling it out. Settled in behind them. Lucky Luke to the outside. Dazzling Mischief. Marquee Well in an all-out drive. Then it's back to Heavenly Trip and Gold Special. They pass the half mile, 46 seconds. Little Toe and Golden-eye.
Leave the rail wide open.
Switches to the inside.
Jesus.
The far outside, Lucky Luke. Marquee Well now takes over as the leader. Little Toe back to second.
3.
Lucky Luke coming late, but this is Marquee Well getting it done. Lucky Luke second best. Third's going to go to Little Toe. And 4th, the Heavenly Trip.
Yeah, dude. They got loose on that
track.
4 with the money.
Yeah.
They got loose paying him at the end.
They did.
And then the heavens opened and he just went right through.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. And this is when the pocket trip pays off, is when they decide to go 5 wide around the fucking just hold the rail.
It's so common here.
It is. Nobody can ever hold the rail, except for in the last race when we needed the rail to open up. Then we're going to hug the rail. And so listen, congrats to Marquee Well, who it's been a minute since this horse won. This is now the 90th career race of this horse, and this marks the 15th win for the 10-year-old gelding. And this horse has won now $130 some odd $1,000 in his career. So, and listen, Sean, you and I have talked about this a lot. Demario Bino continuing to ride well, gets the win there for Jared Brown. So, getting the job done there with Marquee Well. And again, that's a horse that really just did not have a lot of form. I mean, had some nice speed figures going back to last year and even earlier this winter, but just had not really been running particularly well. And, obviously the class drop last time out, and then this, second time at this class level and third time at Assiniboia really pays off. So it gets the job done. And it did feel like the 6 kind of buttered up the 3 a little bit to fade, and those two kind of went at each other up front. So
Wire, nice job. Sheets player, nice job. Everybody with the 4, nice job.
Yeah, and I think Tim Mee gets
being that close.
Yeah, I didn't think the 6 would be that close either.
No, I thought you would come from behind. I was like,
"What?" He'd get that trip.
Yeah. The
smart money late though for him to go off co-favorite.
Totally.
Yeah, and then they brought up that Lucky Luke got hammered as well at the last second. Was 8-1 getting loaded into the gate, goes off at 3-1.
Yeah, Little Toe was barely the favorite. I mean,
that
was wild.
Yeah, no, absolutely, very wild to see that. So, so we get Marky Well getting the win there in race number 3, and like I said, congrats. I always love to see the old guys win. We just saw a 10-year-old rated R superstar retire a couple, week ago. So pretty cool to see a 10-year-old win up here at Assiniboia on Monday night. And I think I cashed the early pick 3. It's not going to be for much, but I do think I hit it.
Awesome.
So that doesn't suck.
We got to talk pick 4. We got to talk pick 4 since like somebody.
We do. All right. So let's get into it. So what we're going to do is Colin is usually our scribe. And so I'm going to let Colin continue to be our scribe. And I'm just going to put a kind of a bow on this last race. Marky Well pays $6 to win. Lucky Luke pays $4.10 to place. Little Toe pays $2.20 to show. The $1 exacta pays $11.25. The $1 try $31.95. The $1 super $168.55, and the $1 pick 3 pays $23.25. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go around the horn for the races that are going to be, so race 4 through 7. We're going to go race by race. El Hombre, I'm starting with you first. Race 4, give me your picks.
How many we doing? We giving you just a winner?
Give me your picks. If you were putting together a ticket, who's the horses that you want in your ticket?
417, I guess.
What is that?
417.
417. All right, Sean. Race 4. Who are you looking at?
214.
214. All right, Jess.
241.
241. All right, I am on 14. All right. Race number 5, El Hombre. Give us the numbers. Who are you on in that one?
Sorry. 5-6.
5-6. All right. Sean, where are you in that one?
4-8.
All right. Jess, where are you in this one?
I hated this race. 8-7-6-4.
All right. I'm with you on that one a little bit more. I went 4-5-6 in that one. And I agree with Jess. I hated that race. Race number 6. We're going to start with Jess to give El Hombre a second. Jess, where did you go in race number 6?
7-5.
All right. Sean, where did you go in race number 6?
I'm trying to think. I'm 7-3.
All right. I went 3-7-5. El Hombre, where did you go in race number 6?
I think I had 7-3-4-5.
All right, 7-3-4-5. All right.
I'm gonna
and then we're gonna close it out in race 7. And I will start out. I went 2-5-6. And Sean, where did you go in race number 7?
2-8-7.
2-8-7. Jess, where did you go?
2-1-5-7.
2-1-5-7. El Hombre, last race, where did you go?
2-8-9-7.
2-8-9-7. All right. So there we go. we just threw out a lot of numbers, and I have no idea if Colin actually got all this down. Colin, did you get any of this down?
I'm ready. You gonna start?
You just have to make a consensus. You have to make a consensus ticket out of all that.
I know.
No, I'm good. I got them. I got them all. But what we usually do then, Matt, for those that are new, is we go around the horn and we just ask: does anybody feel comfortable that they have a single or a horse that
yes
in this pick 4 that they would feel comfortable singling, and then we kind of go from there on ticket structure, because that's obviously most important. And as you guys talk about that, I'm going to add my picks to this list, and then
please do.
We'll be listening as well.
All right. So El Hombre, who's your single in this sequence?
Are we forcing one? Okay.
Well, if you have one, if you don't have one, it's okay.
I
But if you have a single,
honestly didn't. I didn't, but I will give an opinion if I had to.
No, don't force it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, don't force it if you don't have one. Sean, did you have a single in this one or not?
No.
All right, Jess, did you have a single in this one?
Not really, but I could force one. There is one I could, like, if you had to.
Let's hear it.
Let's force one.
That's the 7 Exchequer and the 6.
Me too. That was my force too. So
that's if I had to pick a single, then that would be the horse.
Our half force is there. We both half forced it. So
all right, that's a full force. 2 half forces. And
we all had the 7 too.
Hey, wait a minute, and may the 4th be with you. So it kind of works, you know.
Yeah,
there we go.
May the 4th be with you.
Wow, since then.
I like it. I see we got some people. Jeff is giving out his ticket here, and Christopher is giving out his as well.
And neither one of them had that 7 in race 6, by the way.
No, because the 7 was actually my third choice in that race, but that's all right. I'm worried about the outside post and if Whitehall can do it again, doing that. But but I didn't really have a single in this sequence at all either. Colin, did you have a single in this one?
It's tough, babe.
No, as I had said when we started this, I said that I think this pick 4 is going to be hard because of the fact that you have some wide open races. If I had to pick a single, my single would actually be the 4 in the first leg. That was the horse that I was high on.
We all had the 7-1 currently. If you're counting at home.
Yeah, Mr. McLean. Yeah.
We all had. Let's see. Yep, we all had 4-1 in the first leg.
Okay.
Not in that order necessarily, but yeah, we all did.
No.
Jess's horse, Not Afraid, is getting absolutely hammered.
I figured he would. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's I was like, this is the stable door horse.
That's my horse too. Yeah, that's mine too. Yep.
Wow. Well, let's take a look at the will pays here to see if that's going to be legit.
All right.
Yes, the 2 is going to be the favorite at the end of the betting, and 7 will be a close second.
Yeah.
And the 1, 2, 1, and 7 are going to end up your
4 isn't getting
3.
played at all. That's interesting.
4's the 4th choice. It's going to be this order: 2, 7, 1, and then 4 is the 4th choice, and then 5, 6, and 3 are taking no money.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm like at 5-2, I was trying to beat the horse, but it's 7-1.
So Colin, talk to us a little bit. Where do we have a consistent overlap between? If we were to put together like a skinny ticket, where's there overlap between all of our picks?
All right, leg 1, we have we all are high on the 4 and the 1. And 2 out of the 5 like the 2. Okay. And then in the last leg, the 2 is one of the ones that we are all on, along with the 5 and the 8 is like 3 out of 5 of us.
Everybody had the 2, right? That's what you said?
Everybody had the 2 in the last leg, and everybody had the 7 in the third leg. 7 and 5, 7, 5, and 3, basically in the third leg. I think that's where we all landed.
Yeah.
All right.
Then the second leg, I mean, we might as well go all because we had the 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8 between us.
All right.
But if you're going to punch in all buttons, that means you got to have a single somewhere.
Yeah. Well, that also means we can leave out the 1, 2, and 3. So I mean, it's not. we'll go.
Yeah.
What is
There you
that?
go.
4 deep, 5 deep. So we can keep those out.
You talking race 5?
Race
Yeah,
5.
you're right.
I thought that's what
You're
he
right.
said.
You
Yeah.
can scratch the 1, 2, 3 off.
Yeah.
So that's not that bad. All right. So, all right. So if we're looking at leg 1, let's look at race 4. So do we feel good if we do 1, not in terms of our order of preference, but if we use 1, 2, 4, do we feel okay about that?
I like that.
That's
Like
safe.
that. Yep.
Okay. So we're going to use 1, 2, 4 in the first leg.
Yep.
All right. Race 2, or then leg 2, race 5.
4 through 8.
That's when we're going to go 4 through 8.
4 through 8. Yep.
Okay. Race 6, leg 3. I think we got 3, 5, 7, right? Is that where there's a lot of overlap?
Yep.
Yeah.
That
Colin?
would be fair.
Yep.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. And then do we dare single the 2 in the last leg? That feels very risky.
Ooh.
Let me
So
just say
risky.
that.
I like the 8.
Okay, so 2.
But I know
and then
everybody else has a second choice. We're kind of all over underneath the 2 there. That's what's
Yeah,
crazy.
2-8. I think looks solid there.
2-8.
But
So what? All right, so 2-8. All right. So how much is that? How much
last
is that
race
going
is
to
so
be?
scary.
it's $45 if we single the 2. That's how. That's with a
Yikes.
single. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a little
Jesus.
steep.
Yeah.
We'll have to make some chops somewhere else.
All right. So I'm willing to drop the 4 in race 5.
I was about to
So-
say that.
Okay, so I can
I
go
don't have
5,
any
6, 7.
I think might have been.
Yeah.
I was one of the people who
Yeah.
had him, and I would be willing to bet just drop
Yeah.
him.
5,
I
6,
think
7.
$36 for a buck with the single in the last leg, though.
All right,
Let's-
all
let's
right. We're
not-
working on it.
Yeah. But I
Um,
don't think we can single. Is anybody comfortable singling the last leg?
No, nobody's
No.
comfortable doing that.
Nobody is, right?
I like
No.
No.
I'd rather single a different leg if we're going to single.
I'm not comfortable singling any leg.
I'm not
Right.
comfortable even going too deep in the
What
last
if-
leg.
How about if we go to the third leg here, and we all were high on the 7 and the 5? Would we be
Yeah.
comfortable leaving the 3 off? Who would be?
I could
would
live with
really
that. I
take
could
a
live with that.
stand
The
in-
three,
Which-
I like
which
the
leg?
3, but he
The
finishes
3.
underneath a lot. Yeah, he
Yeah.
finishes underneath a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
So
7,
we
5.
could go 5, 7 in the third leg,
Yep. Mhm.
and now we could go
I
2,
do
8
really
in the
like
last
the 8
leg.
in there.
Yeah.
If we went okay,
And
so
the
if
8
we
in
go
that-
down to if we go down to
Oh,
5,
gone
7,
somewhere,
and
yeah,
then 2.
yeah.
Oh wait,
8,
that's not the third leg. Sorry, I was looking at the second leg. Never mind.
We
All
got
right.
the 8
Never
there.
mind.
All right.
We're good there.
Never mind.
If
Yep.
we go
Yeah.
to the third leg,
Five,
then
5, 7 in the
7,
third leg. Yes, that.
and
I
then
like
we go
that.
2, 8 in the fourth leg. Now we're at $48.
There you go, baby. We got it. $48 ticket. This
Boom.
was good. This was riveting live stream
Oh.
action. Just
Yeah,
5 people
absolutely.
talking about numbers.
Bam.
Just,
Bam.
What if
this is
we-
great.
How much was that, El Hombre?
48.
And if you add the 6 in the last leg, what's that make it?
A lot
72.
more.
How much?
Well, that would make it
72?
more.
Okay.
How much do you like that 6, Colin?
I'm gonna jump off a cliff if we Sean, that
the
was
6. Yes,
Sean,
yes.
Loved
Yeah,
that
yeah.
6 last
Yeah.
time. I'm over it.
Sean
That's
before
the-
you
yeah.
joined the show.
I'm
It's
sharing
my,
that's the $48 ticket right there, just so we can take a quick look. This is a rough draft. This is not official yet. We're
Yeah.
still working on it with 12 minutes to post.
Yeah.
We
1,
got
2,
time.
4,
We got time.
5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 7, 2, 8.
That's what we just talked through. Now we
Yeah.
can move and shake a little from there because that's a $48 ticket.
That's solid. Yeah.
Yep. So we did. I will confirm that I did cash the early pick 3 ticket. So
Excellent.
this is good. So we got
it profitable?
that was not bad. I doubled my money. It was a $12 ticket and it returned $23.25. Yeah, not bad. I can live with it.
Winning.
Yeah, exactly, winning. And I'm still alive in the now middle pick 3 as well. So because I got, yeah, so I'm still good there.
So is the angle on the 6 in
Oh,
race
no
5
way.
just mostly the dropping class? And I mean, I guess the numbers are good. I get it, I guess.
The angle in which race, Jess?
In race 5, Luckenbacher.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled about that horse, but that was just my opinion.
That's a horse I'm just not. I personally don't need, but if someone else loves them, like I could see
I
it.
don't love them.
No.
I had them in there.
No.
I feel like
originally, but
that could be one you trim.
Yeah, I could easily go 5, 7, 8 in that race, and trim.
Any objections?
trim him.
Any objections?
No.
No objections here.
Going
And then we
once?
could add Collins 6 in the last leg.
And that would be the same exact. Well,
Yeah.
Mm.
that makes it $54.
All right, well, I can live with that.
How much we like this 8? I mean, I had the 8 in there too, so I'm not against it for
I
sure.
like the 8.
I like the
I
8.
really like the 8 in there. The 8's my
Yeah.
top pick in the 5th race.
Can we trim race 4, the one coming up here? Come on. We're 3 deep. We have 1, 2, 4. I think there's some room for Tim
I
Hughes
really
as
like the 1.
single as the 2.
I think if we
But
trim
I
anybody
love
as
the
the
2,
4.
But also I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, I mean
like
the
the
4 is a super consistent underneath type of horse. And actually, this race is a good point to ask something that I've wanted to ask before and keep forgetting. Are there different claiming rules for Assiniboia? Because there's certain races where there's nothing in the condition about. So like this is actually like listed as an optional claimer, but there are races that are listed as claiming races, and you see
Yes.
horses without a claiming tag listed.
Mhm.
And I have no idea what
Okay.
the rules
Yeah.
are there regarding that. Does anybody know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Sean's
that
got it.
means in Canada is a little bit different. Okay. So when they come back, right, to promote them running, okay, there's no tag the first time they run. So
Okay.
so you can't be claimed first time back. You know what I'm saying? So like
Gotcha.
that, right, exactly. So that's kind of where you don't see the claiming tag. Then the next race you see it. They allow you one race to come back where you're protected and you can't be taken, which I think is pretty
Kinda
cool.
nice on all sides. I like that.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have the guesswork as someone doing the claim, and then as
Right.
if your horse runs off the board, runs really well off the claim, you can step up for where you belong.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Right.
nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like
And
that
they
rule.
kind of promote that, which is nice. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
great.
right.
I kind of figured there was something there, but it's not in the conditions, so I was curious about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is anybody super strong on the 1 winning this first leg?
I am not.
Wow.
I mean, it's all based on that last race with the 1, right? It's just contingent on if he runs that race back, he wins. But it's
These
so much
Oakland-
better than any race he's ever run before. Is he going to run that race back?
If the horse
Those
is
other
clean,
Those other races were at Oakland, and we've seen the horses coming in from Oakland just really do so well.
And that's fair. Yeah, the Oakland form definitely, I feel like, makes him fit.
sure.
Matt, you're muted.
I'm trying to eliminate one. That's all. So if we don't want to eliminate him, we're good.
I was surprised Matt didn't jump through the window when we tried to eliminate the 1 because he loves it, but he's on mute.
I mean, he was my 3rd pick in there, but I definitely he could definitely win. If you're
Same
trying
here.
to make a case to toss him, that's my case.
Yeah.
And
I love the 1. I love the 1.
I had the 7.
And then we
and
gotta
got a big price
gotta keep
now. So
that's that first race. Yeah, honestly, like if we were to drop anybody, as much as like it's a tough thing, the 4 would be the horse that I dropped, I think. But that's such a tough call.
All right. But if I'm not mistaken, where we stand now, do we have a $54 ticket hammered out with the 4 included in the first leg?
that was
Yes.
no. This was that. Hang on. It was
That was
if
if
we
we dropped the
it was-
6 and added the 6 in the last leg.
Yeah. So we got a $54 ticket.
It was 5, 7, 8 in the second leg, right?
Yes, 5, 7, 8 in the second leg.
Mm-hmm.
And
5,
so
7 in the third,
That's
6, 8.
54.
2, 5, 6, 8 in the last.
Yep.
Just 2, 6, 8, wasn't it?
2, 5, 6, 8.
Hold up.
Wasn't it?
what in the last leg?
I think we only had. I don't think we had the 5.
Yeah, you can drop the 5.
Why do I have a feeling Tim's $18 ticket is just going to come in and be like,
Hey,
I hope so, because I think he's got the same.
He does. Yeah.
win together, then it works.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like it.
That's your $54 ticket, Matt, that we're talking about right here. 124 with the 578 with the 57 with the 268.
Yeah. I'm with that.
We better hit it because I'm going to bet it. You know, I'm here for the club. I'm here for the club, baby. Paul Nolan's in, baby. Paul Nolan, it's 2:55 in the morning. Are we still doing it? 2:55 in the morning over there in Ireland.
God bless.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Dedication right there. Dedication for Mr. Nolan.
Love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get the stream up here. As I believe we've now exhausted the number.
Yet, Colin. No one looking sleepy yet. They're still alive and spry.
I'm just going to bet this pick 4 the way we're doing it at $54. It's going to be my last bet of the night. Unless we lose, which ain't going to happen.
All right. So I do like that the one here at 9-2. I see the 2s at 2-1. I felt like the 7 was very beatable in this first leg.
Definitely.
So, all right. So are we officially good with that? Are we punching that one in?
Yep. Let's go.
All right.
I'm content with that.
$54 ticket. I'll just leave it up there.
All right. We're going 1-2-4 over 5-7-8 over 5-7 over 2-6-8. That's what we're doing. And if Collins 6 finishes last in the last leg, or gets the sleepy time selection, we're all going to yell at him.
Just point fingers.
But it is. So also, Colin, you got to memorize these. We can't, the 5-7, 2-6-8, if any of them in the last 2 legs are the sleepy time pick, we got some serious issues. We gotta, we gotta make sure we cannot have sleepy time. These horses got to be alert, ready to go. So we got.
Call it as I see it, boys. I call it as I see it.
Exactly. No, you can't buy Colin off with this sort of stuff.
No.
He's
sleepy
too honest.
is sleepy. Right.
Yeah, sleepy. It's true. At least we're not singled. At least we're not singled in those last 2 legs. That would be scary if we singled to a sleepy horse. That would be scary. But at least we got an alternative, even if one of ours is sleepy. So we're all right. We got listen, we got 4 minutes to go. We got obviously significant drop in the morning line for the number 2, who's gone from 10-1 down to 2-1. Jess identified that one as kind of the stable dual horse to use. Obviously, you also have
removing the needle.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw that horse and I saw the morning line. I was like, there is no way.
Yeah. No, there's absolutely no way. My Noah dropping a little bit as well from 6-1 to 9-2. Then you have the morning line favorites, Del Vecchio at 6-5, who is currently at 5-1, and the number 4 horse, Mr. McLean, who was 5-2, who is 5-1 as well. So not a lot of respect for your morning line favorites there. And I thought both of them looked fine, but I thought both of them looked very beatable. And Del Vecchio has taken a little bit of a class drop, but hasn't shown that much early. I mean, does have nice speed. And Mr. McLean was kind of the one that I was a little bit more interested in, second time at Assiniboia, and ran halfway decent to a pretty nice horse who won a stakes race next time out, Big Nick. And Gone Somewhere is a horse that won next time out, that come out of that race. So that was a pretty key live race that he's coming out of from last time out. So that was one to certainly consider there. But hey, let us know. I see, El Hombre's been doing a great job sharing comments, because I've had some technical issues while we've been talking about this last little stretch. But share your pick 4 tickets, share your straight up tickets with us here. I'm going to take a look at Stable Duel, see how we're doing in those contests right now. And the answer might not be
is
very
brought to you
good.
by Blue Moon.
There you go.
Love it.
I love it.
T-shirt representing.
We got let's see, in the $15 game, we got who do we have up here? We got we got Equus Model doing well. So Keith, who was hanging out in the chat earlier, is doing well there. I'm hanging out in 17th. El Hombre's in 24th. So we got some people there. And then in the free game, we need to see who's going in the free game, and see what's happening there.
Yeah, you're at 227th in the free game, so don't listen to anything I have to say.
Yeah, I'm 158th. Exactly.
I'm ahead of you by 13 spots. So.
I'm 152nd. So take this for what it is. But hey, I do see our own from the chat, Hardspun 77 is sitting there in 5th place in the free game, as well as Cool Airman in 7th right now in the free game, who is a regular on the chat. So we do have a couple of chat folks representing there in the free game. You love to see that. So shout out to them.
Sheets player says he's 10th and he or she is.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice work. Nice work. I will say I don't like the new stable duel update. I can't see who are the stables I follow and who are the ones I can't anymore. So Too Fast LLC. That must be the Sheets player. So I'm excited to see that. That's awesome. Frank Payne, the century mark, 100th. Love to see it. So yeah, let us know how you're doing. Shotty's at 51st, doing well there. And Cyrus and El Hombre are both at 214. So great minds thinking alike. But yeah, that's where we are.
We try to be mid-pack in the middle of that thing for now. That way later it's more of a surprise.
That's where you want to be stalking. You want to be stalking to mid-pack, and then you want to push. Then you really want to go.
Deep stalker.
So, yeah.
We have to deep close at this point. I'm going to have to pull a Zenyatta.
That was unbelievable.
I'm in strike the gold's term right now. I gotta.
Yeah.
Can pull out a Silky Sullivan here.
I'd love to see it.
Does it bother us that Kurt and Stretch both the 7?
Not really, because they've both been wrong the first 3 races, I think, too. So I'm not too worried. So we'll have to see. But they also, one of those two, and I don't know who does it. Sean, do you know who makes the morning line, if it's Kurt or Stretch?
I believe it's Kurt. I
think it's Kurt too. See, I think there's a little bit of like Kurt like sticking with his morning line a little bit. Being like, no, the 7 and 4, those are the best. It's like, I don't know about that. And so, that's where we'll go. That's one thing I will always say about it's one of the many reasons why I always love David Aragona, because David will make a morning line and then pick against, because he always says the morning line's what the public's going to do, not what I personally think is going to happen in the race.
Exactly.
And he goes, I think the public's going to, overbet the Pletcher Ortiz horse, but I really like this 8-1 horse. And so I always respect him for doing that. But listen, we got 0 minutes to post. We got our pick 4 ticket in. I hope everybody else out there listening has got their pick 4 ticket in.
Yeah.
And so now Inopa asks a good question. Can you tell how many places are going to be paid tonight in the triple up contest? And it's a little tricky because it doesn't say specifically. I would imagine, taking a look at the number, it's going to be 4, if I'm not mistaken. I think the top 4, maybe the top 5 payout, but definitely the top 4.
Right.
So I'm thinking that's what we're going to be at. So, it would be nice to show that info, but they got to wait until the contest closes to see how many active stables they have to determine what the 30% is. So that's that's always the issue, that it would have to be kind of live updates there. I've talked to Bree about that before. It's just a matter of person power, from what I can tell, in terms of just, somebody constantly manning those games.
Small operation over there.
Yeah, it is. They're a startup. And so they're doing their best, but it's always good feedback to give, and I'll definitely pass that along. So, we got the $50,000 guaranteed pick 4 pool. I'd imagine we're going to exceed that as they get closer to the gate. But shout out to the 83 people who are watching here on YouTube. Press that like button and subscribe. Now, we've been talking this whole time about who we like in the sequence. Jess, I know you like the 2 to win. Colin, who do you like to actually win in this race?
I'm on the 4. I like the 4 here. I think that Mr. McLean, like I said, I'm hoping this horse gets back to. This was the race that I told you. I look at the 5 and 5.5 furlong races. I look at final times that the horses have won at, and this is the only one I can see getting close to 103. So I'm hoping that just comes through, and that's a very simplified way of how sometimes I just look at the 5 furlong races and 5.5 furlong races.
Yep. Sean, who do you have in this one up top as your top pick?
2.
2. All right. Yeah, you and Jess are on the 2. And El Hombre, where are you in this one?
I had the 4 as well.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Without a whole ton of confidence, which is why I agreed to go 3 deep here on this first leg.
Yeah.
Not super
tricky first leg.
Not easy, hombre. Yeah, not easy.
Yeah. I like the 1, but now I'm scared by the statistics on the 1. And the fact that
for
one is
for a public ticket here.
Yeah. And so, listen, we got 1, 2, 4. That's where we're going in the first leg. And so listen, they're getting them loaded in. They're starting to get them ready to load in here to kick off the final 4 races here on the Monday night card. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. And now we get to, after this is over, I always feel like there's a great exhale after we get the pick 4 ticket done. Because now it's like, okay, now we can just enjoy these last 3 races after this. Because there's always a lot of like, because Colin's right. Like you just have to constantly like get everything ready so that you can get.
They don't waste time at Assiniboia, boy.
They don't, which I appreciate. So
absolutely.
All right. They're getting them loaded in. I think they got 4 of the 6, 5 of the 6. So yeah, the pick 4 pool is definitely growing. It's over 50,000 now. And I will turn things over to Kurt for the call here in race number 4. Good luck, everyone, with your pick 4 tickets. Let's stay alive here through the first leg and let's cash these tickets tonight.
Wow, the 4 with a complete mosh pit on the out of the gate there.
You got the sound, Matt?
It looks like the 7's way on the outside. Yeah, we don't have sound, but
I'll try my best. And not afraid on the outside.
It looks like the 7's trying to beat up our. The 7's trying to beat our pick 4 ticket on the first leg, and the 7 is clear. And
we got a scorcher.
7-1-4. I must be way ahead of the feed here.
Oh my God! Yes.
Spoiler alert!
My God, my 2 was in there for a second. Exactly. Oh, good Lord!
Boo!
Terrible.
Ooh, spoiler alert!
There's only one way to handle that, ladies and gentlemen. Run that pick 3 back twice as hard.
That sucked. Right. 3 low price horses and the 4th one beat you.
Man.
Right.
Terrible. All right.
Charles B loving it though. You love to see
Charles B. Hey,
Charles B.
Get the win.
Someone got it, right?
Yeah, well someone got it. That's all that matters.
Well done, Charles.
Yeah.
Gee, Christ, that was I had him in my stable duel. My better.
Yeah. They both liked them. They both liked them. Yeah.
I didn't hate him.
Yeah.
I had 417 originally in that order, so I was not screaming from the treetops to make sure we put the 7 in there. That's for sure. Damn.
Yeah.
I hope my team breaks 100 points tonight.
Yeah. It's definitely the class drop, and I mean, it went from an optional claiming 15 down to an optional claiming 10. But I regressed last time out, and I know it dueled a little bit, but still, it's one of those things. Thought it was a beatable favorite, and it's turned out to be a rather chalky evening. I mean, Del Vecchio. Now I don't know, what did Del Vecchio actually go off at?
2-1.
2-1. Yeah, so it's been a rather chalky evening. He got hammered late.
He was the morning line favorite too.
Shoddy at the 7.
Money at Assiniboia seems to just be on point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for real.
Good job, Shoddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, nicely done, Shoddy.
Yeah. So Shoddy getting the job done there.
I think I'll go from 24th to like, I think I had the 7 there too, but I'm so far back in that. In the $15
lucky to
game.
hold my
I need a telescope to find my
227th
team.
with my 2-4 in there.
Oh.
I'm not good at Assiniboia. I need to get back to these stakes cards where the long shots make sense and the favorites make sense.
Well, Belmont tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about.
Might
I don't know
have to
what
check that
table
out.
was that
I need a Nello. I need a Nello to run a shocker here in the next race.
I do like Anello quite a bit.
He could be too. Me too. Yeah.
So I do like that horse.
That was a horse that I was looking at Thorough Manager past performances, and they do their own rating, and that horse kind of stood above the field on the Thorough Manager rating. But I was wondering if that was because of the tracks he was running at.
Mm-hmm.
If like you can trust the rating there. I don't even know what tracks LBG or GPR is, honestly. Is GPR Grants Pass? Something?
It might be. I know LBG is Leatherbridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I've never even heard of these tracks.
Yeah, and the thing is the interesting thing about that horse is, and what makes it tough is they don't keep fractions at Leatherbridge, so you can't have speed figures.
Yeah,
but
it's
if you look,
times. Yeah,
but if you look at the results, that horse makes a ton of sense from a standpoint of like how he does going longer. And so just from like a distance standpoint, he makes sense. How good the competition is, we'll see. I mean, he did win like a $10,000 stakes race at like a mile last year. So like there's some level of class that this horse has. And I think he could be a price. So we'll see.
Yeah, you'd think so. That was one I was just like, I have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
A fun fact in that race, you guys.
Yeah. Go for
the winner, morning line favorite, post time favorite, only 14% owned in Stable Duel.
Yeah. I know. People did not like.
I had him. I had him in the one team. Like I said, I kind of played a couple different strategies. I had the 7 there and the one stable and not the other.
Yeah.
And that's pretty wild.
I played the wrong Ali horse.
Del Vecchio
at 65, I could have never had him in stable.
Yeah. No, Del Vecchio pays $670 to win. My Noah pays $330 to place, and Mr. McLean pays $3 to show. The $1 exacta pays $13.15. The $1 try $38.80. The $1 super $126.30, and the $1 pick 3 pays $62.65. So that
somebody hit that. Brett in the chat hit that pick 3. Nice
job,
Brett.
they did. Nice work, Brett.
Congrats.
Top notch. Sir. So
unit.
By the way, just while we're talking Canadian racing, how many people vote that was Wonder Wheel's last race, and then they just let her just go live life? She showed absolutely no interest in running whatsoever.
I am on record when I had Sarah on to preview the Ashland. I very provocatively posed the question, are we sure Wonder Wheel is good? And that is one of my takes that has aged better than, don't pay attention to the other 100 that have not aged well. That one has aged beautifully.
All you need is one.
And so
listen, you got to stand firm when you're right, babe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never been that sold on that horse only because of how weak that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies field has come back. And I just never thought that horse was that good. And, but I didn't think that horse was going to be
versus that group
showing I thought she was going to show something, but
she showed. Patrick said she showed nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Loggins.
I've never had a chance. I will defend Loggins in this context.
Colin just jerked his head around though.
Colin's not even here, but
it is funny. Colin's off camera. You can see. Yeah, you can see him.
He was looking at something. All of a sudden, it was like.
You want to fight? What do we got? Greg has stopped what he's doing for the rest of the year to color me a picture of Loggins, he says. So
that's really nice. That's very nice. I like that. That's sweet. But yeah, Wonder Wheel, man, I was shocked. I didn't even expect her to run that poorly in that spot.
It's kind of like that spot. It was kind of like the Rich Strike 2023 campaign. It was like, please, have we seen enough yet? I mean, it was kind of like
yeah. And you figure, I mean, Sean, to your point, I mean, Mark Cassie does right by his horses, and it's hard to think that he's going to put her in another spot anytime soon. And feels like either she's going to go to a long layoff or she's going to, potentially be retired and maybe be a very effective broodmare. But yeah, hard to see her running again anytime soon. So,
I mean, y'all remember 2019 Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner Storm the Court?
Yeah, of course.
So it happens. Like,
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. So it is.
That was a wild story following that one.
Yeah. And I see Greg is putting he's putting a halt to drawing King of Steel to wait for Loggins. And what I'll say is King of Steel drawing that horse could take a year and a half because of how freaking big he is. We're running back. We got to run back some variation of a pick 3, each to their own.
Way into the login zone.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that interruption.
Yeah.
Couldn't control it.
All good. So we're going in now. We're going back to
race 5 here.
Exactly. Yep.
Race
5.
Yeah, race 5.
Matt's having complications, baby.
I am having complications tonight.
We'll
I'm
pick
having
you up,
some
Matt.
issues.
We understand.
I appreciate it. So if you,
are you on Wi-Fi or are you hardwired?
I'm on Wi-Fi, but because I don't have hardwire. But it is mostly because my laptop I think is about to completely die. Okay. So that's mostly what it is. So we got, but we are going 2 turns again, and we're going to 7 furlongs for race number 5 for claiming 3,000. And El Hombre, I'll start with you. I know we talked through this already in terms of our pick sequence, but who do you like up top here?
I am waiting for the refresh here. Go ahead and pass me by for a second. I got an opinion, but I want to make sure.
Sean, where are you looking in this one?
The 8, 2 steps faster.
Wendy
Anderson and Bino. Hey.
Yep.
Jump on the bandwagon. Exactly.
Yep. I hear you on that.
Yep. Run some very excellent races. Yeah, that's my top.
Yeah, that horse is 15 for 38 in the exacta lifetime. I mean, that horse is a very honest horse for that Wendy has. And you go back, I mean, it has been a minute since this horse won, but the last, I mean, second, third, first, fourth, second, fourth, fifth. I mean, the horse turns in a lot of honest efforts.
It doesn't run bad.
No. So, Jess, where did you go in this one?
I'm also going to be on 2 steps faster. I thought it was interesting that they were in for the higher tag here, going for 3,750 rather than 3,000 if you want to take her. Thought it was interesting running a mare against the boys. Yeah. Just that I'm sure this was probably just the spot in the condition book that worked. It seems like if they're going to do this, they probably really liked the distance, which 4 for 8 in the money at the distance. So I thought the 8 made a lot of sense here. I thought the 7 was really interesting, especially at that 15-1 morning line, and was probably the speed of the race. So that would be my second choice in there. Was beaten only ahead by the 5 last out, who was 3-1 on the morning line. So between the two of them, I'll take that 7, being able to maybe turn the tables with a little less pace to run at in there.
Yeah.
And we talked before about the 4 being interesting, and it's really just a matter of if you can trust that form at those tracks where they aren't taking fractions and such. One of the horses in here who has won wire to wire, which I think is notable in this field. It seems like the speed is a little questionable. You got the 7, but I was really kind of wondering about the pace in here. This was just a wide open race to me, but I ended up on the 8 on top.
Yeah. Colin, where did you end up up on top in this one?
Jessica read my script, I guess, because I was the 3 same horses. I was 8, 7, 4. Thought this was a pretty tough race. I liked the fact, as I've talked about on the show, the 7 furlongs. I like horses that have had success at the distance, and the 8 certainly checks that box. Is an honest horse who just always shows up, and you get the jockey who now we have all taken notice of on this show the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I like the 7 because the 7 actually hasn't had a race at this distance. So you may say, Colin, I thought you liked horses that had run at the distance. Well, Brisnet in parentheses next to the distance gives you a number similar to the Tomlinson number. What's the number?
Yep, Tomlinson. Yep.
Tomlinson. Yeah, like the coach. And he had the highest one on this race of 110, which was actually much higher than everybody except for the 1. And then the 4, I go back to that same angle, relying a little bit on the early speed and the speed figures, although I'd say tonight early speed hasn't. Am I wrong? It's actually the kind of the ones up top have been getting caught and getting passed, and actually kind of blown away by those horses on the outside sitting off of the speed, which in this case might end up being that 7. So I was 8-7-4.
All right, El Hombre, circling back to you. Where are you going with this one?
I like the 5, bro.
Yeah,
like 5-1 right now, especially. I'm trying to get my notes to see why, but I mean, Carreno has been great. Let's see.
So the 5 was my top pick in this race, actually, as well. So
figure, I mean, consistent. I don't know. I think, especially now at 5-1, he was 3-1 morning line, but at 5-1, I really like the 5. Man. I had the 5, 6, 8 actually as my top 3, but I definitely like the 5 a lot more at 5-1 right now. Yeah, I know there's 5 minutes to post, but
I like the 5 too at that price in particular. I don't know. I thought the one comment I made about this horse is he generally runs to his odds, which may or may not be good depending on what odds he ends up going off at. But when you see, like, when he's the favorite, he wins. When he's like this, when he's a long shot, he tends to finish like a long shot. When he's kind of the second choice, he runs like the second choice. I mean, he's a very honest horse in that regard, that he kind of gets a fair accounting of himself depending on what level he's at in terms of the class. But I just think that he's got some decent races in his past performances that he can run back to. I will say, doing the 2 turns 2 races ago didn't go well, but he also had a little bit of a troubled trip that day. So I was willing to kind of excuse that one and give him another shot. And that was, I thought, a pretty nice race against a horse like Gone Somewhere, who I like, and Etu Babu, who I thought was pretty good. So that was one, again, willing to kind of give another shot there to the Steve Gaskins horse with Carreno aboard. So definitely like that one. I like the 4 as well a lot. We've talked a lot about that horse. Definitely like that one a lot too. So this one feels very wide open. So but none of the one none of us have talked about is the 6, Luckenbacher, who is the morning line favorite.
About both the 5 and the 6 is that they managed to bypass the non-winners of 1 in a year condition because their last wins came for the $2,500 tag. So they have more form than the rest of the field. So that is definitely a notch in their favor there for both of them. The 6, interestingly, last 2 races lost to Not Afraid and Exchequer, who were 2 horses I loved on this card, and so far that has not gone well. So we'll see how that form holds up. It's also a cheaper level, obviously.
Yeah. But Luckenbacher also got beat by Dino, who actually made a pretty nice run, a couple races back.
That's true, and Rail Splitter.
Yeah, and Rail Splitter. So there's I mean, that's the one thing about Assiniboia is they all run against each other. So you can find,
characters, bro.
you can find an argument to be made in a few different directions, which I actually like. That's what makes it a little difficult sometimes. But
Lukenbach, Texas.
Yeah.
Playing some Lukenbach, Texas up here. Anybody know that song? Anybody know that reference?
No.
Come on, bro. No old hillbillies up in here? I bet you somebody in the chat can run that one back for me.
All right. Somebody in the chat, use Google and don't make El Hombre feel very old. All right.
Sean knows it.
What was the line?
That's Lukenbach. There you go. Right off the bat, somebody nails it. Bada boom, bada bing.
Waylon. Yeah.
Okay. Come on, baby.
There you go. Waylon.
That's before I was even born, but you can call me old all you want, Matt. I got like 2 years on it.
I know. We're almost the same age. Waylon.
Willie and Waylon and the boys. Tim Me knows it. Everybody knows it, babe. Come on.
Wasn't Waylon supposed to be on the flight with Buddy Holly? And then he and Richie Valens, I think he and Richie Valens lost, with Big Bopper, I should say.
Yes.
And Buddy, and
It was
they
a coin
the bet.
flip.
lost the bet.
I think it was Waylon and Richie.
Yep, Waylon and Richie lost and Waylon lost the bet. And
You saw La Bamba, baby. I remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's Waylon. Waylon's a hell of a guy. I like Waylon.
Lou
See, this now,
Diamond.
you guys, Matt tried to shred my integrity. The whole chat room comes to my defense with Willie.
Well,
and
by
Waylon
the
boys.
whole chat
thing.
room,
Come
you
on.
mean three people at this point. So let's let's just
Come on,
easy
baby.
does it on the whole chat room. Let's not overstate things. But I love it. The listen, we got what? We got a minute to post.
1 minute.
They just brought him out on the post parade, so it'll be a minute or two. It'll be a little time. But listen, Luckenbacher staying at that morning line favorite, but a very, just to your point, like a very kind of meh morning line favorite. I mean, or current favorite, like 5-2 is not a very strong favorite at Assiniboia, even in an 8-horse field. And it's pretty close between, certainly Luckenbacher and then Two Steps Faster at 3-1. And then you have Murdo at 7-2. So there's a lot of horses that are kind of, pretty close to being a three-way first choice in this race. And then you get some prices when you step up from there. The 7s at 7-1, and then you get a bunch of horses that are a little 10-1 or higher. So interesting to see how this race plays out. I know, without delving into too much politics, I will say a couple of hours before we went live. Just a incredibly sad story about Waylon and Buddy. But I will say, a couple of hours before we went live, the news broke that Churchill Downs has suspended Bob Baffert through 2024. Now, are they going to be racing on the dirt at Churchill in 2024? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the Kentucky Derby's at Ellis Park. Who the hell knows? They're not worried about that, though. They're worried about banning Bob Baffert. So that seems to be primary. Are they going to have a new turf course by then? Potentially. They seem to replace it every year. So, surfaces be damned, but something Bob Baffert banned from Churchill Downs, and not just Churchill Downs, all CDI owned tracks, which of course includes the fairgrounds, includes Colonial Downs now. Interesting news. El Hombre, I always go to you for my hot take. What were your thoughts on this one when you saw the news break? I know we shared that in the chat before this, and what were your thoughts?
Man, I'm gonna be a little coy for once.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think on this deal, dude. I hate Bob Baffert. I always have.
I
but
know.
I will say this: it does feel, and this, I mean, this is a hot take. You want a hot take from me?
Yeah.
A hater of Bob Baffert. I've called him an animal murderer. I've called him all kinds of nasty things over the years.
This is true.
I actually feel like it's a bit of a witch hunt, to be honest, because I think it's way bigger than him. I mean, I don't know. That's why I don't want to go too far with what I say here, because in honesty, like, he deserves whatever he gets, but it does feel like it's a bit of a witch hunt. There's way
It feels
more
like they're
than,
looking for a scapegoat.
yeah. And we've talked about this 100 times. There's way more than one person. They're making, it was like when they took him out, and then they took him out of Churchill, they banned him whenever it was. It's been a while now. And then 7 horses died the week of the Kentucky Derby. It's like, and Bob had nothing to do with those. Clearly, he wasn't even allowed in the facility. But at the same time, I'm not against him being penalized for life. You know. So.
And it's interesting. Tim Hughes brings up a great point in the chat, which he goes, the bigger news has to be that the CDI and TVG agreement. So now TVG is going to be covering the CDI owned tracks. Here's the conundrum, though, is I don't know if there's a group of people who support Bob Baffert more than the TVG people. I mean, that's where he gets all of his support out on the West Coast. And now suddenly, I don't know if people's tune's going to change, but that's kind of a big deal that the big sponsor or the big track that you just brought on suspended your number one cash cow out in California. Yeah. Now, that how do they kind of work that out mentally in their heads, in the gymnastics that they're going to be going around in there? So that it's something that struck me as funny. Not funny, but it struck me as ironic, perhaps, or coincidental.
And I will say the only reason I'm being a little bit coy about all this is because I'm ignorant to the, full factual.
Oh, sure. I mean,
there's a lot that I don't know, dude. I'm just an idiot fan of the sport,
Yeah. No.
I did see a text today, which I was amused at.
Yeah.
I guess Safi sent Bob a tweet and said, well, at least one of us made it back.
Yeah. Yeah, Safi, of course, has been cleared of all wrongdoing.
Safi's cleared.
And is back to being able to saddle horses and have stalls at Churchill Downs own track. So there we go. So
Blaze is in the house.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of folks hanging out in the house. We got 79 people here. And we're just, we're talking some horse racing news before we get into.
We're treading lightly, baby.
Yeah, we don't know the full stories of everything.
I will say, for me, I don't have anybody to answer to here. This is
no, we don't. And we don't have a horse. We don't have a dog in the fight. We're just reacting to the news as it happens, and especially over the last few days, we've seen a lot of suspensions being given out over all of this stuff. And so, it is interesting to feel like it's been a little bit of a, Bob never really bent the knee to CDI, and then CDI just, made note of that and kept the receipts and basically was like, yeah, well, you're not coming back into the club. And so, it's very odd. Wesley Ward with the suspension. We've seen positive tests from Pletcher and Cox. We've seen
the horse racing politics makes
suspensions from Jonathan Wong.
The U.S. government.
Yeah, no, it's wild. It's absolutely wild.
Remorse is quite a reason to keep someone suspended, but I mean that's their right, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're a private company. They want to suspend somebody.
They can do what they want.
Yeah, they can do what they want.
Absolutely.
It's bizarre, but we'll see.
Matt wanted to suspend Mr. Automatic from our chat rooms, for example.
No, we'll never suspend Mr. Automatic. We'll never suspend him.
I had to veto that ruling.
Now, Mr. Automatic, who I do have to appreciate that he showed up. Colin, did he show up on like an Assiniboia Downs? Or he showed up again, and he clarified that he didn't mean that we sucked. He declared that the racing sucked.
The Belmont. The card sucked,
that's right.
But we didn't suck. Exactly.
Yeah, he's like, no, we're not talking about you guys. The card sucks. I still
some way disappointed. Yeah, I was hoping that he was talking about us sucking.
A little bit.
I've always said, I'll know I made it when I have haters.
Yeah. No, that's
haters or viewers.
Don't you know it? People have built their entire careers around that. So we get here they're loading them in. We'll turn on the volume here in a second. But we have a new post time favorite, and that is the number 8. 2 steps faster is all the way down to 2-1. And then you're followed by Luckenbacher at 5-2, and then Murdo at 3-1. Turn things over to Kurt here as they get them loaded in for the fifth race on the card. And we're going 2 turns here. So remember, 7 furlongs.
Walker will be next.
So good luck to everyone.
Just 2 left to load towards the light. And the current favorite at 2-1, 2 steps faster. The field is set. They're at the post. And they're off. And it squeezed out was Luckenbacher early from the far outside. 2 steps faster, away well, but on the rail, Silvermaker challenging for the lead. In between horses, Anello, 2 steps faster, 3 wide. We got 3 lengths back to Herbie on the outside towards the light. Another length to Otani, 3 more to Luckenbacher and Murdo. The trailer about 10 off the lead. 24-4 the opening quarter. And Silvermaker up by a length and a quarter. Anello patiently in second. 2 steps faster in third. Moving up as a pair, that's Herbie. And towards the light. Settled back behind them. Murdo catching up with Luckenbacher. And Otani is the trailer. The half 48-4. Silvermaker with the lead on the far outside, making up ground 2 steps faster. They hit the head of the lane, and Silvermaker still hanging on the inside towards the light. In between horses, 2 steps faster, and Murdo coming with a late run. But this is in the books. Silvermaker is going to get it done. Second best is Murdo, 2 steps faster in third and towards the light. finishing 4th.
All right, there we go. So this is why we don't run back to pick 3, because I don't think any of us had the 1 in there. Did we?
I don't think so.
I certainly didn't.
I had an exacta there. Nice little exacta for you.
Oh, all right, there you go. What did you do? Was it an exacta key box?
I had a 5 key box all.
Oh, okay. That'll do
thick,
it.
Pretty thick.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's good. So yeah, the number 1 silver maker, who was 4-1 morning line, and ended up going off at 5-1. Yeah, I mean, again, that horse it never really has shown great speed, but got out there and was able to set the pace up front.
Yeah.
Was never really pressed, and was able to set very reasonable fractions. 48 and 4. And 1/4, basically 115 flat, and so was able to just kind of take them gate to wire. There in the inside rail. I mean, I will say that that's something that we've talked about before, is that those inside post positions tend to do really well. They go in those 7.5 furlong races. So, that's something to keep in mind. Murdo made a late charge there, but was just really far back. That was, just had way too much to do early. And I was impressed he even got up for second place. I mean, he sits far back sometimes, but that was further back than I thought. Yeah.
The girl ran a great race because she was really wide on that first turn. You know?
Yeah, the 8. Yeah.
Faster,
yeah.
Watch her next time versus her own.
Yep. Agreed.
It's a good question for Jessica out here.
I just saw that in the chat. So I've read on Twitter, I haven't confirmed this personally, but I read on Twitter that he had some issues with his x-rays. And so that's going to immediately slash the auction price for any horse. I don't remember offhand what the exact issues were, but clearly they were something that have not affected him in his racing career. But if your horse doesn't have perfect x-rays as a sales horse, you're not going to get what they're worth on pedigree. So that's, Confidence Game is another good example of a horse who I think sold for like $35,000 or something out of a Bluisana, half sister to Zenyatta. And yeah, the fact that he's a ridgeling probably also factors into it, which, means that he only has one descended testicle, which, I mean, AP Indy was a ridgeling, so it's not like it really affects them as a stallion or anything. Honor Code also a ridgeling. But that could also factor into it. But the biggest issue with him was the x-rays were not squeaky clean. So you got to sneak by with that horse a little bit.
Yeah. I remember when Sonny Hine tried to sell Skip Away and they couldn't because he had the chip in his ankle,
Exactly.
They ended up keeping him,
Yeah, exactly. Yep. You do surgery, remove the chip, and horse goes on to be Skip Away.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And,
that's crazy that would affect it. I mean, because you think of offspring, you think of the genes, the bloodline more so than that horse specifically. Because I mean, because that horse had an injury, I guess it's more injury prone the way they look at it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But about I guess, and I mean, certain things some studies have recently come out and things that I've heard before, if they have issues, OCDs in the stifle are one thing where, it'll show up on the x-ray, but it's not actually going to affect a horse's performance. And there's now data supporting that. And, there are definitely other things. And that's something personally, I'm really trying to learn and key in on, because it seems to me, you find these horses with imperfect x-rays, but they're, conformationally, they're put together well, they're bred beautifully, and you can get them for relatively speaking, dirt cheap.
Well, to put it into human terms, okay, so LeBron James has a son and he's awesome, right? The kid's a specimen. But then all of a sudden LeBron James breaks his leg.
Mm-hmm.
Why would that affect LeBron James's son? You know what I mean? Yes, LeBron James now is impacted for life because he broke his leg, but it doesn't affect his pedigree. His son.
And, in horse terms, it could be that there is a pre-existing infirmity there. For instance, you had notoriously unbridled song was known for passing on unsoundness, and I don't have any statistics or anything to support or deny that. But that's like an anecdotal,
right? And that makes sense if they're more prone to it.
Exactly. And there are certain issues with different horses, like you've heard like different stallions who just their offspring tend to have certain issues. Like I've heard, for instance, that like twirling candies, some of them, they're more likely to have like breathing issues. So you have to make sure that they scope clean and things like that with like that stallion. And there's little things with different stallions. And again, I don't have any like data on any of this. This is all anecdotal.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Pulpit used to have a lot of skin rashes. Corinthian got it.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and I know that they're also notorious for just being a little bit head case. And I mean, that was one of the things with Tappet, with the can a Tappet get a mile and a half question, was a lot of that was based on their personality and the fact that they tended to be a little loopy.
Well, one of the things that I find interesting is when we're having this discussion is one of the other horses that won a Triple Crown race this year, Mage. I know the gentleman who owns the horse, I'm blanking, Restrepo, I know is the last name. I'm blanking on.
Ramiro.
Thank you. And he mentioned he thinks the reason they were able to buy the horse for only $230,000 is because Mage has a pretty significant overbite, and that he just aesthetically does not look as pleasing and as perfect as many other horses. And so something as and obviously that, some people think, well, maybe that would affect his breathing potentially, or just, maybe there's something from a performance standpoint that would affect, but something that just feels so cosmetic, like just, oh, that horse has an overbite, therefore this horse, is just not going to be
more than 500,000, but he's worth less than half that.
Exactly. It's just interesting to me to see, those types of stories. And that's really fascinating about Arcangelo and everything you shared there. So
So it seems like there's an opportunity there, that I'm trying to figure out how I can capitalize on that and find, learn what those things are that are forgivable, and what issues can you live with. And you ask 10 different people, you'll hear 10 different answers of, okay, what conformation flaw, what X-ray flaw, what can you work with, and what is just a complete deal breaker. So it's super interesting.
Peyton Manning had a Cro-Magnon forehead, and he managed to win a couple Super Bowls and be one of the greatest of all time. Not somebody that you would, pedigree wise, you probably wouldn't have thought much of him or his brother. They both looked like, horses.
Yeah, but pedigree wise, Archie was a Heisman Award winner. Like, so from a pedigree standpoint,
but
his dad was like a great athlete.
If you measure,
they wouldn't have sold well at auction.
You're right.
Peyton
yes,
would not have measured
standpoint,
well.
yes.
They would have measured his forehead and been like, "Nah, this kid's not all right."
One of those ones that he's just not commercial.
Yes.
He's got a weak chin and he's got a big forehead.
His chin sits back too far. The forehead's Cro-Magnon. It's not going to work. We're not interested. And then he goes on to become one of the greatest of all time.
By the way, some great comments in the chat, by the way. Dave Barista posting the question of what if LeBron James was a Ridgeling made me laugh out loud. I had to mute myself for that. And Archie did not win the Heisman. Yes, he was a great quarterback at Ole Miss and then went on to play for a terrible NFL team in the New Orleans Saints.
Underrated, boy.
But a highly underrated player and a super athletic guy.
But both of his Cro-Magnon sons won Super Bowls, so it's amazing.
Yeah. And what's funny is I would argue, they were a little bit more athletic when they were younger. Archie might have been the most athletic, though, of the group. And then Cooper, by all accounts, Cooper is the most athletic out of that group.
Both Peyton and Eli.
They all say to a T that Cooper was the most talented one of all three. If he didn't have that condition, he would have been by far the best.
The forehead condition?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
No, Peyton. Well, my favorite comment about Peyton is because, of course, I'm a graduate of the University of Florida, and I always love the Steve Spurrier line, quote, you can't spell citrus without UT. And that was the dig, because Florida would beat Tennessee every year, and the loser of that game would always go to the Citrus Bowl, and Florida would go to the national championship. And so I always like that dig that Spurrier had, because I just like Steve Spurrier. But
I sidetracked the whole thing with
it's all right. It's fine. This was a good discussion. So we got time in between races, and what do we got? We still got. I
was serious about that.
14 minutes.
That's the way I compare it, because I think it's a way to the LeBron injury not affecting the pedigree to his son. That
sure.
That was a real question.
Yeah, Bronny,
So-
Bronny James.
But
Will LeBron
not
stay
that
in the league?
specifically.
I know, but will LeBron stay in the league long enough to play with his son? I think probably yes.
I hope not. Dude, I'm sick of
it's
looking
going to
at him.
happen, I think.
1 year and done. 1 year and done. Funny.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I'm just sick of him.
So, all right, let's go to race number 6 on the card. And it is now time because I can see Colin looking up at the screen because we are now in the sleepy time zone, ladies and gentlemen.
You're in the sleepy time zone. Here we go.
It is starting to get a little late, and some of these horses could get a little tired and a little sleepy. And so
before we go there, though, Matt,
I got
a new feature for tonight's show.
I just see this up, and this is very exciting.
We talk about how Assiniboia Downs always awards the fan of the night, and they have an incredible graphic.
Yep.
So I would like to say, first of all, that David Barista has just been bringing it in the chat, talking about how long till Bodie Baffert gets his license. Tell Bodie Baffert he gets a lifetime ban. And then he topped it off with, as you had talked about, what if LeBron was originally? So our Assiniboia Downs VIP of the night. Fan of the night.
Just tremendous.
Well done.
Inaugural.
Bravo.
He's a legend. David's a legend, man. He's
Dave is.
Tour de Force legend. He's a lounge legend.
And he's still dropping more. Over under Bronny James bald by 30. Just tremendous. I mean,
hell yeah.
Well done, David.
Under. I'll take the under on that, David, by the way.
I love that.
Under 30.
So that is fantastic. Love to see that. But I love that you were able to take the VIP graphic too, Colin. That's great. I absolutely love that. No, that's why we got Colin here, folks.
For 5 on the horse,
David.
0 for 5 picking, but
we
got a great graphic.
1 for 1 on the graphic.
David is an artist, you guys. You guys are familiar with David's work at all?
Yeah, I am.
Monster talent. I've got some in my basement down here. I'm going to show it to you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Speak amongst yourselves. I'll show you something.
Well, we'll pull up the feed here because it's like I said, it's sleepy time, and it's time for Colin to start taking a look at who looks a little sleepy in the paddock. Jess, I want to get your impressions as somebody who's been around horses, knows horses. Do you put any scientific validity behind Colin's sleepy time picks?
Yeah.
That if a horse looks sleepy, you just go this horse, toss it.
Can we just destroy Colin in 3 weeks?
There could be something there. I mean, look, I put a little bit of stock definitely into how a horse looks coming in. I would rather, I don't know. I haven't seen enough of them to really give a good opinion on how Colin pins the sleepy time pick. But I mean, look, if a horse looks uninterested, that might be a horse to pass on. I mean, it's not completely ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's ridiculous either. That's why we continue to let Colin give out the sleepy time pick of the week every week, because I do think there's validity to it.
I think we're 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5. The sleepy pick won last week somehow. I don't know how. That horse looked like I was most confident in last week's sleepy pick because the horse didn't move for about 10 minutes in the paddock to the point where all the horses were on the track and they had to go back and get the 6 out. And then the 6 went in and blew them away. So
he was saving his energy. He was conserving his energy.
With it, though, is you kind of have to know the horse as an individual.
Yeah.
Like if that's how that horse looks every time, like for instance, on the opposite side of that, like Forte, his last few races, like at the Florida Derby and the Belmont, both times he was worked up, sweaty, looked real like nervous, or maybe not even nervous, but just worked up. And he ran great both times. Or like Shackelford was another like really good example where if Shackelford looked really like he wasn't sweating, he wasn't going to run his race.
Yeah.
Like before the Preakness, that horse was almost like the most washed out horse I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
See if we can get this on TV here, but All Terrain Jane was the horse that was the sleepy time pick. So I wrote, this horse looks tired before race. Don't get tricked.
I love that. Yeah, exactly.
No, that's fantastic. Don't get tricked by the sleepy time horse. And so And I will say Tom's correct. Tom brought up a good point that he did and you even made this point, Colin, in real time. So I want to give you credit too, because you did say that the horse did perk up once he got on the track in the post parade a little bit and looked a lot better. So
should have pulled my pick back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, that's a great angle. Like a horse who's like really chill. And then when the jockey gets up and he knows it's game time, then he gets, all right, let's go. Then that's a horse who I feel like knows what he's doing out there and is ready for it.
Yeah.
Well, he pulled one over on me.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk a little bit. I mean, I know everyone's pretty high on Exchequer in this race.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, just went out last time out and put on a great race in an optional claiming 10, going a mile. And so now we're going 7.5 furlongs at the same level. So there, you got Antonio Board, who has been cold. I mean, there's no way to say it. I mean, Sean, you've talked about it. He's been cold, man. There's no way to say it.
He has been absolutely ice cold. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of seconds. I mean, it's not like he's not hitting the board, but it's just he's not getting the winners.
Well, as you said, even the perfect example of your one earlier, just bad luck and bad. Every race he was winning, he was clear. He was, he was just getting exactly. He's just finding a little bit more trouble and just getting close, but not close enough.
Yep. And
we have a possible sleepy pick here, and the sleepy pick that at least in the paddock here would be the number 5, who don't think has come out to walk around at all. I like the 5, so that would be
I know, I do too. That's why I
a little concerning, but we're not going to pick him yet, because otherwise, if it's not him, this race they all look pretty alert. So we have the ability to move this pick to the 7th race. But we're keeping our eyes on the 5. We'll see. We'll pay attention to what happened last week. Maybe when the jockey gets up and he starts getting to the track, maybe that means we need to lay it heavy. So we'll keep our eye on the 5 here.
All right.
It would actually be very interesting. I don't know if you can do that with like Formulator, but like look at a horse's performance based on the race. Like, okay, so this horse, his last 2 races, he was running in the 4th race at Assiniboia Downs. It'd be interesting if you could actually compile stats on horses. Like,
that would be great.
Is there a difference when this horse runs in the 7th race at Assiniboia versus the 2nd or 3rd?
Yeah, and you'd probably have to control for class, because usually
it would just be ridiculous to actually find out anything useful.
I love
it. Would be interesting.
This is going to be my Saratoga angle this year. Like, who raced?
This horse can't win if it's in the last race.
Yeah, no, this is like the NFL, like West Coast teams playing 1 o'clock games on the East Coast, and it's like, oh, you always bet against when the Chargers, you always bet against the Chargers, but you bet against the Chargers when they come east to play even an inferior team. You're like, oh well, West Coast team playing at 1 o'clock, their biological clock's going to be off. So, yeah, I love it. That would be a lot of fun to actually take a look at that. Let us know in the chats who you guys are taking. I see Mitchell's going to be taking a swing with the number 4, Papa Oscar Whiskey, who I know El Hombre liked a little bit in this spot as well. That's a horse that's currently 6-1. I will say it looks like the betting odds are pretty even across the board, 7-2 for your favorite Exchequer, but you got a couple. You got a 4-1, 6-1, 7-1, 9-1. So it's a few different other single-digit odd horses in the race. I thought maybe Gallant Oak gets back in this one. Maybe he's able to turn the tables a little bit on Exchequer from that last race. We'll see. The number 3 right now at 4-1. But Sean, where did you go? You liked Exchequer up top in this one?
I did, yeah. I did. Yeah. And Antonio does need a win. I just really like the way this horse is run. I just think I know he's cutting back a little bit. Obviously and it sounds weird, the 7 furlong ones have been all inside, but I think if he has that extra half furlong, we'll maybe give him a little chance to get a little bit better position going around that next turn, and no one's better than Antonio getting position. So I think this may help him in this race. So that was my pick.
Yeah. And Jeff bringing up a good point that the 8 horse, who is 4-1 morning line, is currently 9-1. And that does seem maybe a little off. And interesting to see that. We got Inopfa's playing a try box with the 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. So, and Chris asked about the number 2 horse, who is new to the scene and is a little bit of a new shooter in this space, coming in from Century Mile. My biggest concern with this horse is just coming back from the layoff. And I mean, I know the trainers had very minimal success coming back from long layoffs. In terms of Devin Gittins, I think it's 5% with a 41-cent ROI coming off that long of a layoff. So that was why I didn't really want to look at the 2 too much. I thought maybe needed a race or 2 under him. And we also saw some mixed results out of horses coming from Century Mile last week. 1 as the heavy favorite, and then 1 finished 3rd, I think, as a heavy favorite. So, and those 2 horses were in very good form. So, I think this one might kind of need one off the bench, but we'll see. El Hombre, where did you go in this one? Who's your top pick?
I had the 7. I had the 5 as well. I had the 5. 5 was my stable duel choice at 10 to 1. 10 to 1 morning line. I still kind of like him here at 7 to 1. Yeah. The public's keeping it pretty balanced here. The 7's 5 to 2. I mean, you see it after the 7. I mean, you got pretty good balance between the 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8, or all around 4 through 7 to 1. So another good betting race. You're getting good betting odds on all these horses. But I like the 7, and I like the 5, and the 3 was my 3rd choice.
Yeah, I definitely like that 5 a lot as well. I made a note. If you toss the sloppy efforts, then I think this horse makes a lot of sense.
Yes, absolutely.
And this horse finished 4th last time, but only by a length and a half behind Exchequer and Gallon Oak. So I think the 10 to 1 morning line was, from a stable duel standpoint, was very appealing for Wendy Anderson's barn with Carreno up. And Carreno's a jockey who's been heating up as the meet's gone on to this point. So, Jess, where did you go in this one? You like the 7, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, I did. And I actually had the exact same note on the 5. I was tossed sloppy track effort 2 back, and he fits good. Great stable duel price.
Yeah.
I thought, the 3 also makes sense as 2 races at Assiniboia fit. And the 6 was interesting. Not like the 3 to 1 price was kind of, I don't really need him at that price, but a little bit of a class drop there. And he fits based on that 7 for a long race 2 back.
And it's interesting.
But I like the 7 on top.
It's interesting you bring up the 6, and I should point this out because last week we saw Jerry Gorno do this exact same move of running a horse back on a week's rest on a class drop, and he won. And he's got a pretty damn good win percentage running horses back on 1 to 7 days rest. I want to say he's got like a 22% win rate under those conditions. So it's interesting to see these horses run back. Now, what concerns me is running back at 2 turns, because I think that was a sprint race last week that he won going on the 1 week rest, although I could be wrong. But it's interesting to see that coming back on that short rest. But definitely something to. It
doesn't seem like that race took a lot out of him. I mean, he really didn't run a whole lot in that race.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You
want to try again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to see Dickie Dutro Jr. be a trainer up here where he could run his horses every 4 or 5 days. This he'd be
or Willie Beeman.
He would be in heaven.
Yeah. Just they run on Monday and then again on Wednesday. The hell
yeah, right, exactly. Right,
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. But listen, we got a couple minutes as they're making their way to on the post parade to the gate. And yeah, it's a pretty honest line. I mean, El Hombre, to your point, I mean, Exchequer's at 3 to 1, but you got 7 to 2, 5 to 1, 8 to 1, 7 to 1. I mean, there's some nice prices here. You could catch underneath from some decent horses.
Great
some love for the 3 in here. I think it's a good betting race as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
3, 5, 7, get loose.
Marvin Buffalo, baby.
Which one's does Marvin have a horse in this race?
I'm ice cold tonight, so I'm taking a shot here with the last $2
Marvin Buffalo
in my account. I'm going to go with 4 over the 3, 6, 7, 8 try.
Hell yeah, Colin. Hell yeah.
I'm hoping that this 4 can just really a little bit of the only early speed. I wouldn't say only, but at least by Brisbane, an EP5, and the next one you have is an EP2. I know early speed has not been really where you wanted to be tonight, but I'm hoping that having that advantage for my boy Marvin Buffalo, who is 6 for 13 so far at the meet. So hitting it.
I missed this horse.
You know what? I love to hear that.
Papa Oscar.
Colin, that slight hesitation you had about that 4 on top, that was music to my ears, baby.
Oh, no hesitation.
That slight hesitation was all I needed. He doesn't like the 4 on top. He bet it that way because he's trying to get two.
I did switch it.
Yeah, baby. No, he's not. The four is honest. I mean, look at the odds right now. I mean, the public's saying it all right now. I mean, there's the 7's the favorite, 9 to 5.
Oh, the 8's 7 to 1, huh?
Yeah.
You can't change my bet, though.
Yeah.
Marvy Buffalo, I love it, baby. I left him out of everything. So if you're right, I lose. Which
you're good, man, because I've been 0 for 5 tonight. So. This place.
Man, I mean, this is a race where
this place has taken my heart, and I have a good weekend. I've had some good weekends at Belmont, and then we come here Monday nights, and I'm pumped up, and it's like just a slow, painful death till the end of 11 o'clock. At least stable, though, I've had no shot. I think I'm in last place in both of them. So,
oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I'm
write it out for last, Colin.
Me and you, baby.
Let's see, where did I end up at this point?
I'm still trying to break 100 points.
Oh, I moved up from 227th to 222nd.
The free rider.
We're making moves.
I'm alive in the $15 game. I'm sitting 9th.
The free rider actually in 30th. So that's not too bad.
No, that's good.
Yeah, Jess, you and I are hanging. I'm 215. We're right with each other there.
All right. If I can beat Sean, it's an okay night.
So
I need that 5-7 exacta here, and then I need that firster in the last to do something wild for me.
5-7 would be great right here.
I'm sitting 12th in the $15 game. So that's my best stable right now. Okay. And I'm 117th in the free game. So
don't get Colin.
Trust me, we're totally getting Colin tonight.
12 is a dangerous place. 12 is a dangerous place to be.
49.
Yeah. So here we go. They're getting them loaded in eventually. It seems like for yeah. It's classic high five time. Tim Mee's going with the 5-7-6-3-8 with the 1-2-4-5 for the classic high five. Colin will attest. Last week I almost nailed the high five. Just
Matt hit the first score.
Yeah, I nailed the super with like 10 seconds to go before the race started. Just off the top of my head. For this one, we're going 3-7. We're going 3-7-5-4-8. That's my order. 3-7-5-4-8. This race.
All right, 7 getting hammered.
All right, let's turn things over to Kurt as they get them loaded in here for race number 6, the penultimate race on the card tonight. Good luck to everyone if you're still alive and with your daily doubles and with your straight up plays in this final race.
Left to load.
The 1 looks out of his mind, by the way. This is the opposite of sleepy time.
Gone somewhere.
Second to final race.
That's why I said penultimate. This means second to final.
Oh, look.
I'm just waiting on
Browning. They put up a fence up at the inside of the turf now?
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
The horses can't go through.
Nice.
Yeah, this one is jacked. and
wants
no part of loading. The 1's seen what it's done to his friends, and he's like, I don't want to get in that gate. Like, that's the one that's cursed.
What's going on with that one hole?
Browning Island will get a little help from the gate crew.
Yeah, Browning Island's like, kiss my ass. I don't want to run. Load me on the outside. I don't want number 1 hole.
It's just like trying to put Rory to bed tonight.
It's a multi-person operation.
He's now in. Or at the post.
Let's get this 357.
And they're off.
And they're off. Gallon Oak shows a little bit of early speed, but so does Papa Oscar Weske, who now takes over as the leader. Gone somewhere, stalking on the outside in second, in between horses, Warriors Map. Gallon Oak settled in on the rail in fourth. Browning Island in between horses in fifth. Then it's Exchequer in sixth. A gap of 2 more back to Provocative Prince. And last Renegade, see 'em all. About 9 off the early lead. 24-1 the opening quarter. And gone somewhere. Now the leader by half length in between horses. Papa Oscar Whiskey. Gallon Oak secures the rail and engages those 3. And Warriors Map now going 4 wide through a half in 48-2. Exchequer now making up ground. Browning Island falling out of it. And last Renegade starting to rally from the back. Taking over Warriors Map as they hit the head of the lane. Gallon Oak to the inside. A late rally from Exchequer, but this is Warriors Map with a 16th of a mile to go. Is gonna win by 4.
Yep.
Gallon Oak second best, third Exchequer, and fourth the last Renegade.
There it is.
Did he end up going off favorite?
There it is.
Yeah, 6 went off favorite, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. The old they knew with the
every race seems like
Someone called that in the chat.
Yeah, someone in the chat said that's who the computers were coming for.
Yeah, they said they were coming for the 3-6. Yep, they were coming for the 3-6. They said. Yep. And yeah, I wasn't paying attention to Will Pays or anything like that, so I didn't see. But the
6-3 came right. Yep, 6-3-7-5.
Yep, 6-3-7-5.
I thought the 3 would be coming off the pace, and the 7 would be close, and the 3 went for the lead, and that was interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And the 7 went up to 7-2. Wow.
Yeah. And Warriors Map goes 4 wide around that far turn. I mean, they clearly had plenty left. And, Jess, you mentioned it, that last race last week probably didn't take much out of them because it was kind of not much of an effort. And, you finished 13 lengths back. You probably don't have to race that hard. And this is the second week in a row now. Jerry Gorno has brought a horse back on 1 week's rest and gets the win. Yeah. So, that's an angle we're going to have to continue to pay attention to. Absolutely. It's one that it's funny. It's one that I noted in my notes, and I said, he was successful last week with this angle. I don't know if he can do it 2 weeks in a row. Well, he just did it 2 weeks in a row. So, it's definitely something to keep in mind there moving forward for Assiniboia. But, there you go. So, interesting. It's been it's funny. On one hand, it's been a chalky night. On the other hand, you could say it hasn't because very few of these favorites are actually the morning line favorite, but they've gotten that down to the post time favorite. Yeah. So very interesting. Funky. Yeah. And I will say
Stable's little team is now over 100 points.
There you go.
Yes.
Warriors Map was used by 14% of stables. And what I will say is in this race, it appears, let's see, Exchequer was used by 34%, Gallant Oak by 17%, Last Renegade by 34%, Papa Oscar Whiskey by 11%, Browning Island by only 2%, Provocative Prince by 1%, and Gone Somewhere by 9%. The public was around the right area, but again, only 14% for Warriors Map. So there you go. So the super high 5 goes 6-3-7-5-4. So I was quite wrong there. Wow. And because at the very least, I know that I had 3 up top. So
I'm just going to tell you that your boy has made an appearance in the $15 stable duel contest.
Oh, there you go.
Your boy is in contention now. I don't know if I can win.
All right.
I don't know if I can win. I might be able to.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm definitely in cash contention.
Yes, liking it.
There you go.
This.
Cash contention is what it's all about. And if you get in that top 5, then you get the free entry to the Manitoba Derby $1,000 winner-take-all contest.
After this race, I will definitely be in the top 5, and then just have to not have a natural disaster in the finale here.
With the 6.
And I got a good horse.
Yeah.
I got a good horse in the last race, I feel like.
You do the 6, absolutely.
So
bring it home.
We got the 6 Warriors map paying $6 to win. Gallon Oak pays $4.20 to show, and Exchequer pays $2.80 to plays, followed by Last Renegade and Papa Oscar Whiskey. The exacta, the $1 exacta pays $11.50. The $1 try $51.40. The $1 super $138.50. The $1 and this $1 high 5 pays $543.80, and the $1 pick 3 pays $62.90. So there you have it for race number 6, and now we are on to the final race on the card.
Final race,
and we got a maiden claimer, and we got a $7,500 maiden claimer, state breds, going 6 furlongs, and the problem is, I believe Tom Barchi let us know earlier in the night that the number 1 hole is 0 for 28 and now 0 for 29 going 6 furlongs.
Yes.
So Jess, I know you kind of like that. Was it Jess? Did you like that first time starter?
Yeah, I liked the first year a little bit. That was who I went with in Stable Duel.
Yeah.
So
hey,
well, I'm already 280 millionth or something like that.
Could run underneath though. Could run well underneath, even if it doesn't get the win. But hey, could also streaks are made to be broken. And it's interesting. This one, you do see a couple of horses with the drop, class drop from maiden special weight down to maiden claimer. So number 5, Timber's Legacy, as well as the number 8, Break On Through, is actually at this level and then just went up to a maiden special weight and has now back down to a maiden claimer. And then the number 9, Royal Commando, also making the class drop as well. But interestingly, Break On Through, the number 8, is your morning line favorite at 5-2. It'll be interesting to see where money goes with this one. I really like the number 2 Shotgun One here, just because Jared Brown does very, very well off the trainer change at this maiden claiming level and gets these horses kind of in a good spot. This horse took a nice step forward first, second time out. I think this horse has a reason to be able to take a step forward next time out and finish behind a horse we liked earlier, Dot and Dash, who I thought ran halfway decent in that first race. So interesting to see how that one will play out. But Sean, where did you go in this last race? What were your thoughts in this final closeout?
I was with you. It was with 2 Shotgun One. I mean, I looked at some of the numbers, even on the trainers and maiden claiming. Even the favorites, they're not good. Like they don't seem to do. I mean, which tonight means nothing, but you know what I'm saying. But I mean, they always do. But I did like the 2. I like the second time back. Bino's riding great. I love second time starters. He improved greatly. I think he can only move up on that one. And his trainers, you said, has the stats that in this class that the other trainers just don't seem to have. So I went with him.
Absolutely. But before we go on, shout out to Paul Nolan. 4:10 a.m. He's finally turning in.
God bless me.
My guy's finally turning in. It is, what a trooper indeed. So, El Hombre, the final race here, maiden claimer. You like the number 6. Well, I know you like her because I like him because you have him in Stable Duel. Is that your top pick, Amistar, in this one?
No, number 2, Shotgun One was also my first pick.
Okay.
I am rooting for the 6 here to get home for Stable Duel purposes.
Yep.
Yes.
We're all rooting. We're all rooting, baby.
I think I could finish top 3 or 4. I'm trying to do some math after the Stable Duel refreshes here. I'll be able to tell, but
that's great.
I think I'm within reach of a nice finish in Stable Duel if the 6 gets home for me, because I doubt that very seriously that anybody in the top few has the 6 here.
Yeah,
I mean, it was kind of a reach, but
Colin, did you like the 6 a little bit here too, and or who do you have up top in this race?
Yeah, El Hombre is going to be mad that I like the 6 on top. And Sean Patrick Nolan, why do I like the 6? Take a look.
Let me see. Oh, is it the one that's lost the most, but has shown early speed?
Maiden claim and race, lost the most, and shown early speed.
Yep. There you go.
Comes through, my friend. It comes through.
I will say 18% of people are using that horse in stable duels. So it is a pretty popular horse. Shotgun 1 is being used by 30%, break on through by 12%. A horse that I liked, which was a bomb, was Timber's Legacy. But before we get to that one, Jess, I know you like the one a little bit as well, but who else did you like in this race?
I liked about half the field. I like 25179.
Okay.
I liked your 5. I liked the 5. I liked that last race showing a little bit of early speed. Both races actually, even though in that first race you don't really see it on the form, but the comment is brief speed outside faded.
Yep. Yep.
And so I like speed in these type of races, especially when you have a lot of career maiden type horses, which these guys aren't really. Not all of them are getting to, but the 2 last out, same kind of concept, has early foot. That last race was, I think, the best on speed figures as far as Brisna is concerned. Last out for any horse here. You have the 1. I liked the 29% trainer in the last 14 starts at maiden claiming level. The Dam was a first out winner and has produced 1 of 8 first out winners. The scary thing there is that Nonios is 1 for 29 with first time starters. So not a whole lot on the top there for firsters. I loved the 6 last time and got burned, so I don't need him today.
No.
And then the 9 dropping in class made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, the 9 does. The 9 does make a lot of sense. Dropping in class. The class droppers all make some sense. And break on through is kind of an interesting one where it's down in the claiming, then back up in the maiden special, now back down in the claiming.
Right. I listed 5 horses and didn't even get to that one. So
yeah, and I wonder. It's interesting, Sean. I wonder, to your point, if Blair did this on purpose, because I think that Blair was able to run that horse because it was the first race back. Was able to run that horse in a maiden claimer and not let the horse get poached.
Right. Yep.
And so then at the second race, they still don't want that horse poached, so they step the horse up to a maiden special weight. Doesn't run well. Now drops back down to a maiden claimer for third back in the form cycle. That's
now
interesting.
He's been beaten by last guy out. Who wants that horse, right?
Well, right, exactly. So
if you're trying to keep him.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. And is kind of dead on the board right now at 7-1. Currently your favorite is the number 7 at 7-2.
Yeah. Here's an interesting point I in my notes, right? I've been looking all day like where Praven was going. Praven jumped off the 7 to ride the 1, which is interesting. He rode him last time 2-1. He was the favorite. Usually you give him another try back. And he jumps off for a quote 12-1 morning line, first time starter. Neville's not a bad replacement, but I'm just saying that's an interesting move.
That is. And this horse is getting a little bit of the makeover package, getting the blinkers put on for a new barn with Wendy Anderson. The horse didn't break well last time out. So, especially at Assiniboia, that can make all the difference in the world in those 5 furlong sprints. Maybe there's some things to potentially like about that 7. I didn't necessarily see it in this race, so it'll be interesting to see. But the 7 looks pretty alert. He's checking things out. He's looking around, so it doesn't look like he's a sleepy time horse. Colin, what's our status in the sleepy time situation right now?
We might be looking in right here.
The number 2.
We're looking. We'll see.
All right.
Kind of still.
Get moving quickly. Get moving.
Got the ears going up though. He's paying attention.
The other option would be the 3, who I think is
Sugar Daddy Jack.
Looking a little.
He just heard he was a sleepy horse, and now he's moving his head.
8's looking sleepy. 8's looking.
Yeah. He's a little
2. Yeah, I think it's between the 2 and the 3 right now.
All
we'll keep watching. We got our eyes right here.
Yeah. The 8's looking a little sleepy too. Anyway,
he has his head down there.
But the 5 is interesting to me. I see Tim brought the 5 up in the comments as well. With Lisa Pruitt and Antonio Whitehall. Tony's got to win one of these races. He can't be on this
pick
streak forever. The horse is coming out of some nice maiden special weight races against Private Frank, Kentucky Jake. So I think there's been some good competition there. I don't know. Jess, you mentioned it, brief speed last time out as well. So this horse can flash speed. Can it sustain it? We'll see over 6 furlongs. But I at 15-1, I thought this horse was worth a shot at a big price. And obviously has gotten bet down from 15-1, now currently 6-1 on the board. And your favorites at 4-1. So this is a very, very even board with the 2 and the 4, or 2 and the 7, I should say, being co-favorites at this point. So, and you could tell with Kurt's picks, Kurt's going 7-4-8, Stretch is going 5-2-4. So they're all over the place in this race as well.
Open.
Yeah. Which is what a maiden special weight race or what a maiden claiming race usually is typically kind of wide open unless you have some huge horse that's dropping down in class. And even then I usually ask some questions about why that's happening. So, by the way, Shat, it's 11:20 at night, East Coast time. It's been thundering and lightning outside my window for the last 30 minutes. So I'm just glad we saw power here in Virginia. We got 53 people here on the chat still. Shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to come back next Monday for all of our stuff. Make sure to show back up on Thursday for El Hombre and Sean, presumably doing some Woodbine cocktail lounge, right, El Hombre?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Thursdays. Every Thursday, babe. We're doing Woodbine from here out, rest of the year.
Nice. Love it. And so make sure to press that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. We got a lot of great content. We're always about the stable duel contests here on Monday night. We'll update those, let you guys know how everything's going in the contest, and have a little bit of fun in the process. Charles B, he's giving out his pick in the last race here, and so he's
279 box. Wow.
Yeah, 279 box basically, and he's going with the high five of the 7-2 over 7-2 over 9 over all over 4-8. So there we go.
Love
That's
that.
quite the
Love
ticket.
it.
Love it. Absolutely. Shoddy has let us know the fireworks are now over, just in time for the last race. Now we get the fireworks of the final race at Assiniboia. That's what it's all about. Frank Payne is going with he's leaving our 2 off, which I'm a little insulted, Frank, but he's going with the 3, 5, 8, 9 try box. I can't argue with that though.
No,
I like where your head's at there, especially at the 5, 8, 9.
Yeah.
So
nobody looks by 6, baby. Nobody's rooting for the El Hombre stable duel to get home here with the 6.
Yeah, well, we're all rooting for the
team. We're all rooting for your stable.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're rooting for the
Bobby
stable
D's
duel.
in with me. Bobby D's in with that 269.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shoddy, I knew
And
would be
so-
in 69.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally, Sinanobia Shoddy gets to make her bet.
Yep, 6 over 9. You cannot bet that very often. When in doubt, bet the 6 over 9.
By the way, shout out again to this is way past Jessica's bedtime.
Thank you for remembering.
She's usually 8, 9. Yeah.
She's half my age, but she goes to bed at.
I'm an old lady when it comes to bedtime.
I really am. This is later than I go
10:30. Wow.
I know. And
it's
El Hombre,
11:30 East Coast.
El Hombre is well known for being the best sleeper in the entire Trust the Profits group. Sleeping Beauty is his nickname because I've never met a man who can sleep.
Though, babe.
Yeah, I know. Weekends only. You're a hardworking man Monday to Friday, but on the Saturday and Sunday, getting El Hombre's attention before 11. I was going to say before 11, damn near impossible. So,
even on Kentucky Derby Day, dude.
I'll never forget Kentucky Derby Day. I'm like, El Hombre, Forte scratched, and then just nothing from El Hombre.
We needed passwords. We needed thumbnails. We needed all types of images done for 97 videos we had going on. I'm sleeping snooze fest.
Yeah.
Until
I hear you.
11 a.m. Britt.
Yeah. I love it. Frank, I see Frank's comment there. Listen, man, the biggest class drop in sports, absolutely, or in racing, absolutely. Maiden special weight to maiden claimer. It's just, using that angle straight up is never a bad idea. So We see Brett still alive in the pick 4. Hey, bombs away, baby. Let's get it done.
Absolutely, man.
Go, son. Let's get that 6 home for Brett.
Yep. So this will be Shoddy. Great comment. If we were at Chucktown, they'd be loading race 4 right now.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah,
right.
I mean, it's rough. It's rough at
I
Chucktown.
don't think I ever made it through a cart at Charlestown to the last race unless it was like Charlestown Classic Day, and I was like, I must make it through.
Yeah.
And then I had to drive
Spoiler
40
alert,
minutes
because
home.
I'm off this week, because I'm off all week, I might play Chucktown in the cocktail lounge after the real racing's done at Woodbine. We might play Chucktown just for fun for Dennis Trusty, you know.
The crazy part about Chucktown is if I, because I live an hour from Chucktown, I bet I could almost like watch the end, like if Assiniboia and Chucktown were the same night, I could probably watch the end of Assiniboia and get in my car and drive to Chucktown and make it in time there for the last race.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
So
Lock it up.
Yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This
Oh,
is
the
a
place is a
fantastic
toilet.
betting race,
Place is a
by the
dumpster.
way. It's well, the casino's nice, but it's in Charlestown Classic Day is a lot of fun if you have a chance to go out there. But I will say,
trying to
the
convince my
dragging of the
fiance
track
to
is rough.
get married in Charlestown because I was like, by the time our reception's done, we could still get over there and hit the last race. He vetoed that.
I
And
love
by
it.
calling it a toilet or a dumpster fire, I meant no disrespect at all.
Oh, I
You
know.
know?
No disrespect. I mean it in
None.
the best way.
Nothing but love.
Nice toilet.
Wow.
Nice toilet.
Exactly.
It's a dumpster fire, but it's my dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the key. That's a very Philadelphia attitude to have right now, I will say, is like, as a Philly fan, and Colin, you could probably identify this, and El Hombre, you too, and Sean, all of us probably can, because we all, Boston, Detroit, Philly. It's like, yes, it's a dumpster fire, but it's our dumpster fire, and you can't make fun of it because it's ours.
Right.
And
Only
so
I
we can
can.
make fun of it, but yeah, I can make fun of it, but nobody else can make fun of it.
Yeah, you don't want to walk
Yeah.
through Cass Corridor in downtown Detroit, but I can.
Oh.
You know what
Right,
I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
there's probably 6 or 7 dead bodies laying there bleeding to death as we speak, but
It's not
you know,
great times.
It's not that bad for
Yeah,
me.
it's not that bad for me. Colin, by the way, do we have an official sleepy time selection in this final race?
We do. The vote is in.
All right.
There it is. Look at the
There it is. Look at the graphics. The sleepy time.
Guys working OT.
Just
Number 3.
fantastic. The number 3,
Sugar Daddy.
Jack. Yeah. Sugar Daddy Jack gets the official sleepy time pick.
He's
So,
been
ladies
looking
and gentlemen,
sluggish. Jockey's been doing extra work to wake him up. I think the 3 is not going to show up.
Now to clarify, that the sleepy time pick means we're fading, right? Like,
yes, we are fading hard.
I'm new to the program with the sleepy time stuff, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. The sleepy time
Making
pick
sure I'm on
is the
same
horse
page.
exclude from your tickets at this
Okay.
point. We had a
Although
we had a
tonight,
Mama
my
Bell
luck,
upset last week.
you might want to
Yeah.
just go and crush them and make up for everything I've given out.
I was gonna say, let me punch this one up 3.
3 overall.
3 oh,
I'm joking. I'm tapped tonight. I'm losing, except for I'm gonna win this stable
So-
duel thing. If the 6 shows up decent, I'll be all right.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of that, do we have an update? We do.
Oh,
El Hombre is sitting in 8th place right now, going into that last race.
How many are paying tonight?
So
I
we
think
got
12.
top 12's
Okay.
paying, I
Okay.
should say.
The
So
next couple in front of me are on the 3 horse. A couple of them are done. Put it this way, dude. If my 6 can get home for me, I think I can finish top 5, if not higher.
all right.
But I need
Here
him
we
to
go.
show up. Give me this 6 one time.
So
How many mushrooms is Todd taking tonight? You know, well, it's not the cocktail lounge. We don't speak freely on the drug usage, but he's talking Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I don't know what else that could mean besides he's screaming for help.
I don't know. I think of I think of that song Teenage Dirtbag. I got 2 tickets
Wheatus.
to Iron Maiden, baby. Yeah.
That's a Wheatus reset. Remember Wheatus?
I do. It's
Wow,
The,
who knows Wheatus, dude?
I remember Wheatus.
Yeah, that was big. That was good stuff. That was a great music video as well. Let me just say that.
You know that dude. That dude. If you've never heard that song, it's a catchy little niche. What do you say? Kitschy. Definitely a gimmick song, but fun.
Yeah, it's a fun song. It's a great music video too on YouTube.
He's probably 25 years old at the time he recorded this thing. And there's a point in this song, and you know that whole like, I got 2 tickets to Iron Maiden part. It's way high in like a beyond
insane register. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's natural. That's natural. And he's a male. And it's like no male hits that note. And I've seen him do it live, like on I don't know, like some public broadcast show or something. And it was like he inhales like a balloon. What do you call it? Like
and gets
it's a
up
wild
there.
ride. But yeah, if you're familiar with Wheatus, it's a fun little tidbit. We do it in the lounge all the time. We talk music snobbery. So
hey, I dig it. Here we're also talking favorite snobbery, and the favorite right now is Wizard of Menlo Park. And by the way, if the rest of the night holds form, put the entire mortgage on the 7, because whoever the CAWs are behind has won every single freaking race tonight.
Yeah.
So
I think every race.
Yeah, I'm almost positive the horse that has gone off as the favorite has won every single race. So the 7 again, it's a little bit of a makeover package, new barn, blinkers on. Sean pointed out new jockey with Neville Stevenson popping on, Badgery hopping off and going on to Dickie's horse carries Nonios. And so they're getting ready here, but then after that, I mean, pretty wide open. Your 8 is at 4-1, break on through. Your 2, shotgun 1, is right at this morning line price at 9-2. The sleepy time pick, Sugar Daddy Jack, is at 8-1. And it feels like a very wide open board. The first timer has taken a little bit of money in the number 1 hole, so definitely something to make note of. Wow. But
wide open, son.
Yeah, wide open. And I'll be honest, I've said this all night, but I think we can beat the favorite. But I've been wrong for the first 6 races, so let's see if we can finally beat the favorite here in race number 7. At the very least,
Matt, we need your classic high five, ice cold, right quick.
All right, 2, 8, 7, 6, 3. All right, that's what it is. All right, I'm going to turn things over to Kurt here to close out the night. If you're live in anything, good luck. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to stay with you for a second after this last race, but good luck with everything. Good luck with the high five. Good luck with all your picks. I know somebody was alive in the pick 4. Brett, I believe, was alive, so good luck to him. Shoddy, I know, rooting for that 6 over 9. I don't know if she boxed up or just played it straight. But good luck as the 7 is now down to 9-5 in this final race. $7,500 main claimer for the State Breds, going 6 furlongs. Turn it over to Kurt for the call.
Let's go.
And just waiting on Royal Commando to the outside. They're all set. They're at the post. And they're off.
Whoa.
One broke.
On the far outside, Royal Commando. Showing some good early speed with Timber's Legacy in between horses. Shotgun 1 is on the rail. Also in the fray, Wizard of Menlo Park. And to the far outside, Amaz Star 4 across the track. Sugar Daddy Jack watching the action 5 lengths back. Another 2 to break on through. Settled in on the rail. Keystone Cash. And well back to Carries Nonios. Amaz Star cuts the opening quarter in 23-1 and has the lead by a length and a half. Wizard of Menlo Park in an all-out drive from second. Shotgun 1 on the far outside in third on the rail. Timbers Legacy, the half 46 hit 3. I'm a star with a short lead on the outside. Shotgun 1 trying to get through on the rail. That looks like Sugar Daddy Jack. And Sugar Daddy is going to take it.
There it is.
Best. I'm a star.
Sleepy time.
It's going to go to Shotgun 1 and 4.
Colin has gone legend. We should have really put it in.
Sleepy time.
Legend.
Sleepy time.
How does that happen?
Incredible.
How does that happen?
Absolutely incredible.
Wins again.
Unbelievable.
That one's in Yada caliber.
I think Shotty's right. Someone gave him a cup of coffee right at the gate and just woke him up.
Unreal.
He heard he was calling sleepy
horse.
time pick. We got to fix that.
That might be my worst night. My worst night of handicapping on live TV
That's tough to beat, baby.
You go 0 for
5
6.
horses. It didn't have the top 2.
You go 0 for 6.
By the way, I had that 6 second stable duel.
6 per second. Yeah.
I think I'm going to cash for sure now. Stable.
And by the way, we
Definitely
finally
won that one, Bray. Yeah.
well we finally actually did not get a post time favorite winning.
Yeah.
So Sugar Daddy Jack gets the job done. Third back in the form cycle, had improved in terms of positioning the last 2 times out. Well, it ran 4th at this level last time out. And, that was a bold move up the rail and a great, sleepy time pick. Ended up cashing now 2 weeks in a row. So listen, maybe this is maybe the sleepy time pick is where you want to go with your pick.
Look at that.
Maybe it's good to be sleepy.
And he almost got the sleepy time exacta because it was between the 2 and the 3. So he almost got the sleepy time exacta box. Is it?
Absolutely incredible.
Wild.
I was really hoping the most experienced angle would get home.
I love it. Winner off 3 consecutive vet scratches going back to last year.
Wow.
Is what Tom just said in the comments. So listen, this was a lot of fun. It always is.
Always a blast, people.
Always a blast. Sean, thank you. Jess, thank you. Colin, thank you. Alombre, thank you. Thank you to everybody who's been hanging out in the chat all night. Just so appreciate it. We absolutely love hanging out with you guys. And girls. That's what makes it so much fun. Absolutely love it. And listen, folks.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
Colin is still, Colin is still beside himself over all of this. And
clip that for the shorts.
Yeah. Yes. No, absolutely. That we're clipping for the shorts, so that's going to be all over the place.
And thank you to Jessica for working with us tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very, very happy to be working.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For those of you tuning in late, I have my Declaration of Independence tie. So I do have my patriotic tie as we're now 23 minutes away from the 4th of July here. So
I'll be watching boring U.S. history documentaries all night for the record to put myself to sleep tonight.
I probably will too, but I'll do it because I love it. And so, all right,
me too. I do too. I mean that sincerely. I love.
No. I know you do. And so this will be good times. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure to tune back. We got the Cocktail Lounge. We got tons of different content throughout the week. So make sure to subscribe, like. Appreciate everybody's time. Until next time, friends. My name is Matthew DeSantis. For Sean, for Alombre, for Jess, for Colin. It's now not sleepy time. It's post time.